Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Welcome to the dog pound.
Yeah.
I'm scared of these damn Pistons. I'm very concerned.
Screaming, cheering. Yeah, I cry loud, cause I said it got now. We off the leash and we not coming to peace. This is Detroit when we step on the court. Be afraid when you see the motorcade, watch below. When you see us soaring, Jalen Duren. Pick your poison, all gonna war when Daniss us so. Be afraid. Yeah, I cry loud, cause you know we got now. We off the leash and we not coming in peace. This is Detroit when we step on the car. Be afraid when you see the motorcade, watch your low. When you see us soaring, Jalen Duren. Pick your poison, all gonna war with them Highlander so. Be afraid. It's the dog pound. Detroit basketball. What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show with the boss. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday night. We just finished up our Pistons Magic live stream. Shout out to everybody who showed up for that. Boss, how you feeling?
Well, first of all, we just heard the new song, so I got to get to some of the feedback. Of the feedback right now.
Yes, sir.
It's so fun. I got to hear it a little early, and I was so excited. It's been in my head, so now it's released to the world. So
I wanted to play it last game, but I couldn't debut it on a loss, bro. I had to play it on the dub. So we finally got that dub. Hopefully I get to play it 15 more times because that means we'll be holding up the trophy. So be afraid. Tell a friend to tell a friend about our Pistons, man. They look like the team that we need to see, that we've seen all year. So shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all giving me the feedback. More coming, hopefully this postseason, maybe even next year. So stay tuned for that. Boss, man, we got a lot to talk about. But chat, we see y'all in the chat, man.
Yeah, real quick.
What's up?
I'll just direct it too, because I knew this was going to be a thing. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I went to the Pistons game on Sunday, the Nuggets game on Monday. Felt good yesterday and woke up today with it gone. So appreciate you being here. Deuce was like, it's sounding better. And I was like, maybe to us, because we just talked for 20 minutes. But so sorry, I apologize for the raspiness, but yeah.
No, it's all good. We see y'all in the chat, man. We're going to get to as many comments as we can. Y'all know the drill, man. If you miss your comment, repost, caps lock, super chat, whatever you got to do to get our attention, go ahead and do that. And we will do our best to get to you. Before we get to this game, guys, we got to hit our PSA as usual. As you guys know, Boss and I are doing a fundraiser for the month of April. I've talked about it before, but you guys know already. I've got two sons who are autistic on the spectrum. And this month, guys, we are partnering with Autism in the D, a nonprofit focusing on autism acceptance and inclusion and supports community events to bring more awareness and resources to the city of Detroit. And as we've done in previous months, guys, you guys already know, we are going to be donating half of all super chats this month to the Autism in the D Foundation. So I really want to show a lot of thanks and appreciation to all you guys for your support with that, and looking forward to seeing what you guys do next. But that means a lot to me personally. So thank you guys so much for that. Okay, boss, on to tonight's game. So guys, in case you missed this game, guys, the Pistons evened up the series with the Magic at 1 apiece, beating them tonight 98-83 at home. Yes, 83 points is what they gave up. That is a sign of who they are. So one down, guys. One down, 15 to go. This is reminiscent of what the 04 Pistons did after every dub. They used a spray bottle, they pull it out, the can out, and just cross one off. I'm not sure if they're doing that now, but I think they should. That'd be pretty dope. But even if not, in doing so, guys, the Pistons snapped an 11-game home losing streak, which is crazy. Dating back to 2008 when they played the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. They won that game going away by 19, I believe, 94-75. So, guys, just another streak, another drought that the Pistons have ended. It's been a great 2 years because it seems like every drought goes back to 2008 and everyone seems to be getting smashed. So that's a great sign for this team. As far as the injury report.
Real quick, Real quick,
No
Deuce.
injuries. Go
Your
ahead. What's up?
graphic changed up. Your graphic
Oh,
changed
my
up.
bad. My bad. Let me get it off
Yeah,
there. My bad.
you're good. You're good.
Good luck. As far as the injury report, no injuries, guys. Starters were the usual: Cade, Dunk, Ausar, Tobias, and JD. And guys, the poll is now live for who you guys believe should get the belt. So you guys go ahead and have it that. Boss, who do you think should or will get the belt in this game if you had to pick?
Gosh, that is so hard because even during
candidates.
our live, we talked about like Stu was a very obvious momentum switcher, but before him, I thought Tobias got us off to a great start in the second half when he got off the bat. He played like almost a quarter and a half, basically straight. Cade obviously doing things. Ausar was incredible. Yeah, he got in foul trouble. Man, I have to go with Stu tonight. I just think he just continued to provide on both ends. His defense was stellar. He was getting under their skin. But I would be happy with any of those picks. So I'm gonna go with Stu.
It's always a great sign, right? Because had they won the last game, it would have been obvious it's Cade.
Yeah.
And we never wanted to be that way. We wanted to be kind of like how Court Chronicle said, you're kind of taking a page out of the 2014 where they do it together, right? Playing good defense, but doing it together to where it's not really predictable where it's coming from, right? So, of course, you guys go ahead and have it that. We'll check back on that in a few minutes, but it could have been anybody. So, boss, without further ado, we can go ahead and get to some initial thoughts in this game. And I'll let you tee it off.
We have a super chat real quick.
Oh,
okay,
do we?
Get to that
I'll get to my fault, Doug. I'll get to you first. Good luck, boss. So, Doug, guys, what up, though, Doug? Doug is the OG, guys. For anybody who's new, he's been a Pistons fan for about 50 years, and he's still going strong. And he is going to see the Pistons get at least another championship for sure. He says 15-point win, 15-point donation for the dudes. Appreciate it. I'm exhausted. Laugh out loud. Like the commercial. Thanks. I needed that. Love you guys. Kudos to the Deuce crew. Appreciate you, bro. As always, man. You've been rocking with us for a while. Always showing love and support, Doug. So I appreciate you for sure, my guy. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Boss, anything else before you get this initial?
That's all. I'm ready to hop right in.
Okay.
Oh, actually, we just got one. We just got one from Dom. So
of course we got another one from Dom. Our dog Dom, always showing love, man.
Amazing,
always.
Dom.
Always. Dom says, finally, that's how playoff monkey off or get that playoff monkey off your back. I was so pissed after game one. I was just happy to see higher seeds in Denver, Boston, and New York lose game two. Wanted a cleaner and San Antonio, right? They lost too. A cleaner finish, but playoff games aren't supposed to be easy. Take the dub. Yeah, that's where I'm at, bro. Like I would have liked to see a little bit cleaner toward the end, but the third quarter really, we were saying earlier, boss, like in the live, like had this been a 4 or 5 point gutted out win and it's close, nip tuck, we wouldn't have felt great because it's like that's the response. So to see that response was great for me. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll get into it. It's on my thoughts too, but like the second half, because the first half we were talking about that, just like this just might be one of those close games that or close series, which it still could be. But when you come off of a loss like that, I don't want that. No. So we definitely need to bring the energy, and we absolutely did second half. So I do agree. Like I'm not like thrilled with the way we finished it, but the Magic were scrambling, and we dominated the third quarter like crazy. So a couple tweaks, like Tom said too, it's a little bit tougher in the playoffs, but I'm glad that it was a much better second half than first. So
right. So I agree, bro, for sure, man. It's I want to see how I was saying to the boss, like, everybody's splitting. It seems like 1-1, and I was wondering, like, okay, are we going to get the same energy that they get? Are they going to get the same energy that we got when they lose one of their first two games? And obviously they didn't. It was a lot less bleak for Denver, for Boston, for New York, for San Antonio, right? So I want to see now tomorrow what it looks like with us being tied like these other teams. Are they going to get back on the bandwagon or what? We're going to see. It's DVE. Y'all know what it is, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to react to this win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Dom, as always, bro, I appreciate you, my dog. Appreciate you, brother. Mauser says, very happy for the win. What's up, Mauser? That third quarter was sensational. That's a great way to put it. Sensational is the word. But what the actual F was the deal with the fourth? 14 points? No bueno. Still happy, though. Yeah, they kind of let their foot off the gas in that fourth quarter a little bit. We were talking about how they just weren't moving the same way. They kind of got relaxed, thinking the game was over. Can't do that. Teams in the playoffs are never going to pack it in. I don't care if they're down 30. There's only 7 shots at it. So until that final buzzer, everybody's going to play hard and try to get back into the game and steal one, right? So the fourth quarter wasn't great. They kind of got a little bit relaxed. We need to see that third quarter energy throughout every quarter going forward if we want to advance. So I agree. Fourth quarter wasn't great. Third quarter made it so that it wasn't too bad of a thing. But once again, like you're right. We got to make sure we play that same way. Not just the first and second. Same
Right.
with that. The third quarter was what won us the game. But I'm with
Yeah.
you, bro. 100%. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
As always, man. All right, boss. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts in this game.
Okay.
So holla at your boy. What'd you see?
So I wanted more energy coming out. I was very critical of that. I thought when you're a number 1 seed and you let the 8th seed win, at home, you know, you guys haven't won a home playoff game in 18 years. You need to come out better. They did come out better, but I wanted to see. I was saying I wanted like Ron Holland energy from everyone.
That's what you
And
said.
our defense was spectacular. We were able to connect on offense. Like again, it never got away from us. We ended in a lead in the first. We ended up tied in the second. And there were few things you can point to for that. Free throws, turnovers, but still I didn't love the energy. The energy that we came out in the second half is how we should have started the game. Based on, you know,
Exactly.
like I said, like based on the game that we just gave one away. So I wasn't feeling great. I wasn't feeling great at the second half. I wanted them to make their halftime adjustments, and they did. But I needed the way we started the third. I need us to start every game.
I agree.
With there were still a lot of guys played better, better defense, better rotations, better shooting. The exciting thing is that there is still a few guys that can improve more. And so that's what I'm going to take out of it. And we're going to get to, you know, some of the guys that have fallen short the past few games. But it just kind of gives me, you know, excited that we beat them by double digits and we had such a dominant third, and we still have areas that we can improve on. Like we're
100%.
still not playing exactly Pistons basketball. So I'm obviously just like, you know, Jason, I will keep it real, but I got to celebrate this win. This is, first of all, historic. Second of all, I think Davon, sorry. I know he taught me how to say his name last time.
You got it.
Devon. He said that this was actually the lowest scoring game for the Magic all season. That's crazy. That's
83
crazy.
points. That's a 2004 score. 98-83 is an 04 score.
Yeah. And I think I said to you in the first, we were shooting like over 10% better than they were from field goals. There were just some ways that they were able to stay in the game, but then we really took over in the third. Yeah, a little bit slow in the fourth, but that's when they really picked up their energy as well. So, but we'll learn from that. And I told you I didn't want to see us lose by like 10, 11. So I'll take 15, especially with some garbage
win
time.
by 10 or 11, you mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't want to see us win by 10 or 11 after having such a big lead, or you said 8. 15 I'll still take and be happy about. So, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my initial thoughts overall too. I think the turnovers are way too high. We had 22. The free throw shooting was awful. We shot 58%. Terrible. 2 games in a row now. But those are my biggest, and then my biggest takeaways in terms of what we can improve on as a team. And then I'll talk about, as we get to every box score, what I think these guys can do individually. So.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with a lot of what you said. Before I dive into my thoughts, let's look at the numbers, right? I always like to look at those numbers that see if it indicated the way the Pistons want to play, if they're playing their style. So let's talk about that. Points in the paint, guys. The Pistons outscored them by 20, 54-34. That's one of the biggest, and I said last game, that was one of the biggest things last game we talked about was the points in the paint. Fast break points, we lost that by 5, 14-19, not really tripping on that. Rebounding, the other thing, 57-42. We outboarded them by 15. The other thing that we talked about last game, boss. Free throws, the Pistons shot 24, and the Magic shot 32. We hit 14, they hit 23, but they shot 8 more free throws than us, and it didn't matter, which we'll also talk about like we did last game, boss. Points out turnovers were a wash, 18-19. Assists, we beat them there, 22-17. In stocks, they beat us by 3, 23-20. So we're gonna come back to those numbers for sure. Right. We're gonna come back to that for sure. But before I get into my thoughts in this game, I want to get to what Isaiah Stewart said pregame.
Get back. We gotta get our get back. We gotta take care of home and make sure we get this one tonight while we head into this spot next.
You guys have had really good bounce back ability.
Yeah, we bounce back. We know what the expectation is. We know what we're up against. We got no choice but to bounce back. We'll bounce back tonight. There ain't no pressure because we prep for this. We know our opponents. You know what I mean? So just go out there, do our job, be the team that, we're capable of being, and handle business. We got to do it from the jump. First group got to go out there, make sure they set the tone. We're coming in right behind them, setting the tone, playing how we play. They made shots early. built the lead early, gave themselves confidence early. So we just got to limit that today. Impose our will, play how we play, and handle business. We feed off the crowd. We feed off the crowd. Like I said, I feel like we have the best fans. I feel like they bring it for us. We got to make sure we give them something to continue to feed off, and keep that place pumping throughout the whole game tonight.
Everything he said is what I love to hear.
Yeah.
Everything he said is what I was hoping to hear. He said, take care of business 2 or 3 times. Take care of business. Take care of business. So for me, initial thoughts, the Pistons' identity all year, you guys know, has been defense. Physicality, dominating the paint, all the things we just talked about with the numbers. Even though the Magic do play the same way, they do like to do those same things, right? But the Pistons, they never established themselves in game 1 in any of those areas. We outscored them by 20 tonight in the paint. They did that to us last game. Outscored us by 20 in that paint. They outboarded us last game by 6. And that's why we were playing from behind the whole game. Tonight was the opposite. We outscored them by 20 points in the paint, right? We outboarded them by 15 boards, right? Despite the whistle. We shot more free throws than they did last game, and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
This game, they shot more free throws than we did, and it didn't matter. It all comes down to the things you do best. When they do that, the other things don't matter. That's just noise. I don't care about the whistle. Yes, there were some bad calls. They probably could argue their fans last game. They had some bad calls. And that's why we shot some more free throws. It doesn't matter when you play your style. Play through it. I don't care. I'm not blaming the whistles. None of that. We have 2 games of showing, despite them or us not having the advantage, that team won despite that.
Yeah.
So it just comes down to imposing your will and playing your style for 48 minutes. That's it. That's it. So that's what I'm on. Like, just play your style. When they commit to playing their style, they win.
Yeah.
We saw how quickly in the third quarter that happened, right?
Yep.
It's kind of like if you guys, I was thinking, if you guys have seen Bad Boys, the original movie with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, when Martin was driving and Will was going crazy, and the villain spun out, and Will looked at Martin and said, "Now that's how you drive. From now on, you drive like that." That's how I felt in that third quarter. Now that's how you play. From now on, you play like this. When they play like this, they can beat anybody. And they showed it tonight in that third quarter. Despite the first and second quarter not being great, despite the fourth quarter not being great, when they decide to turn it on, despite the Magic being a big team, despite them being a physical team, I was telling you, boss, this is a gut check. This series is a gut check for this team. Are you the best in the league at how you play? They're the only other team who plays the way we play at this level as their identity. So this is a gut check. If you lose this series, you're saying they're better than us at our game.
Yeah.
Or at least they play it more than we do. So this series is going to determine who's the best in the league at that style. And once again, the Pistons reminded them in that third quarter, hey, we still the top dog. We still the best at it. So now they got to keep it up. Next game, I want to see at least 2 quarters of how they played in that third quarter. At least. Just continue to get better, like you said.
Absolutely. And I think, I've talked about the Magic have been up and down in their function as a team. They've been a pretty dysfunctional one. And they were coming off hot they looked great in the play-in. They looked great last game. And I said, the minute that we throw them off, it's going to be hard for them to come back in. And that's exactly what happened. Where, and vice versa, they are a team that did lead the NBA in double-digit comebacks this year. But the way that we were playing, I just didn't see that happen. But this was, I said in the live, this was a must-game win for us. But I needed us to win like this because it's just huge for them mentally. Like, now they know that they can do it. Now they know that it doesn't actually have to be scrappy. And despite the whistle, like you mentioned, they still set the tone and they still came out and they still weren't backing down. They just said, fine, blow the whistle and let the Magic go to, go to the line. But we're not just going to change the style of play. And it ended up working in our favor like it usually does. And I do think, we didn't try to shoot ourselves back into the game at certain points on threes, or extend our lead. We were never really out of the game. But we just played so much more like us, like you said, and kind of got in the Magic's head. They were getting frustrated. And I just think, like I said, it was so much more like us with still some big factors missing. Like JD, I think, is someone that still can explode. Jenkins is still someone that can explode. So it'll look that good and know that we still have these other guys that I do believe are going to get in their groove and find their rhythm. That makes me thrilled because they're playing fully healthy. They're playing fully themselves. And I think some of their egos get in the way a little bit. Ben Carroll's especially, I think he found himself a little bit shocked at the third
got
quarter.
Hurt a little bit in that third quarter.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, for sure. That third quarter was great, man. You guys said sensational. It was great. They outscored them at one point 33-6. I think it was like 30-3 through like the first 5 or 6 minutes, or maybe even 6 or 7 minutes of the quarter. The thing is, we scored 30 in 6-7 minutes. That's impressive.
Crazy. Yeah.
But holding them to 3 in 6-7 minutes is even more impressive, which is who we are. It wasn't like it was 30-20.
Right.
And both teams were hot. Like we shut their water off and they couldn't stop us. It was defense once again. But that's the thing, boss. We didn't see it in the first half. We didn't see it in game 1 at all. Defense to offense, creating turnovers, getting out in transition, easy buckets. We were just trading baskets. No resistance defensively. They're scoring. Now we're trying to score in the half court, which is not easy for us. And now we're struggling because we're not a great scoring team in the half court, especially against a team like this who plays good defense. When you're able to turn them over, now you can get easy points. Now you can got to rely on Tobias being a polished ISO scorer to go get you a bucket. Anybody can score in the half court. Just create those turnovers, bring that intensity, and that's what was missing last game, and that's what they had tonight in the third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, the 1-3 that they had was Bane on a very well contested 3. It was still difficult, and it was just Desmond Bane doing Desmond Bane things. So we shut them down, and we didn't, let that deter us. We didn't let them go on a run. That's one thing that they did let us do in game 1 was let us go on runs. Right. And we kind of shut that down. Yeah, the score went from 26-15 to end the game, but that I don't really count that as a run over 2 quarters. It was just them sort of trying to get back into it in the fourth. Yeah, which like we've seen just teams do, and we just didn't let them. So pretty remarkable show out, and I know the team's got to feel good, and like I said, it took them about 6 quarters of basketball to find themselves again. Right. And I'm much, much more confident going in. A win is a win and a loss is a loss, but this win means more. The way that they won means more. So yeah, 100%. And you could be right. It could have still been working off some rust. We talked about it. Yeah. The Magic have been playing consistent basketball with their 2 playing games, right? So they came out a little bit more ready, having already played playoff basketball. I liked the approach of this game, though. The Pistons weren't going to allow Paolo to just get whatever he wanted in the post. Oh, yeah. Right. They were rotating like crazy and sending doubles like crazy tonight. We saw a lot of help side blocks on him, making shots, making things difficult, making him force the ball out of his hands, just things you want to see the Pistons do to make adjustments. That was a great adjustment, not letting him get whatever he wanted. Because I don't know if the Pistons have anybody outside of Stu that can consistently just guard him one-on-one, straight up. Probably just Stu. I don't think anybody else has the combination of speed and strength to be able to stay in front. Agreed. Tobias is probably not quite strong enough, but he's big enough. He's big enough. I think B-Ball can stay in front. B-Ball can stay in front. Yeah, B-Ball, you know what? That's a good point. B-Ball Paul could he's too. He's not 100% big enough yet for me. I guess I just haven't really seen he can do it. He would be my second choice. I think he could. I think last year he couldn't. But I think this year he could. He's a lot bigger and a lot stronger. So that's a good point that you made for sure. So I like the help side defense. That was a good adjustment. But yeah, it was just more inspired. Just much more inspired defensively, man. Just getting on the glass. The defensive rotations were great. He just played harder, bro. He just played harder. And that allowed them to do what they want to do, which is get out in the break. I will say this. Go ahead. I was going to say, you mentioned the stock difference. And we had, because they ended up with more than us, but we had 9 steals and they had 16. But steals is what they do. Again, our turnovers, that needs to change. But they had 6 blocks to our 11. 11 blocks. 11 blocks. Yeah, it's crazy, right? 11 blocks. Double-digit blocks. We don't have Wemby. Right. We led the league in stocks this year. True. So that tracks. Right, but you're right. We don't have Wemby. When you got Stu, you don't need Wemby. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we'll get to Stu later for sure. Last thing before we get to some box scores, boss. Yeah. We talked about it already, and this was a great win. I don't want to take anything away from that. Right. I got to see B-Ball Paul, man. Yeah. I got to see B-Ball Paul. I've been saying, y'all probably, till I'm blue in the face, y'all probably sick of me. I want to see Stu and JD. Yeah. I want to see that lineup against a big team like this who loves to draw fouls in the paint. It's not going to help if you're undersized in the paint. It's that's going to have them going even more so into the paint trying to score. I just think those two together, we talked about the offensive boards last time, how that was an issue. All things that having Stu with JD can help. A lot of people complain about JD's defense at times. Another thing Isaiah Stewart can help. It's just so many, and then that helps the B-ball polish you because now he's your third big, and now he's playing for sure against Paolo. Yeah. So it's just like, for me, I got to see those two play together. Yeah. I have to see those two play. Hopefully we get it. Probably not as a starting group, but I'm like 3 minutes into the game, I'm pulling Tobias and bringing him back late in the quarter, and I'm letting Stu go in between with JD, just letting him go. Go ahead. After Stu's performance, I said in the live show, like, I kind of want to see that's the end of the third. I was like, I kind of want to see B ball come in for him, not Duren. And Duren hasn't found his rhythm yet, but I think I mentioned it again in the live, but like, I think B ball could be a little quicker than Wendell. I think that he would match up well with Goga too. Yeah. I just think there's just something right now that Duren's just getting over the hump a little bit. Yeah. They talked about how Wendell probably watched film on him, all this stuff, but we know Duren's a little stronger. He got better as the game went on. He matched up pretty good with Goga too, but I would try B-ball on Wendell. I think that I think he could do it. So I agree with you. I would like to see more of that, just especially because we did beat them in the paint tonight, but that would just help so much to shut them down, and especially since Wendell Carter Jr. got into foul trouble. I could see him, that same way with B-ball Paul and Banchero also gets frustrated, and I could see B-ball getting under his skin because they're gonna be like, "Who's Paul Reed?" Yeah,
we gonna like, that's Paul Reed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, that was the biggest thing for me is just the disparity between the points in the paint between game 1 and game 2. They had us up, they beat us by 20, we beat them by 20 tonight, and that's just to me that's just effort. That's just effort and just a willingness to commit to it. And when they do, they're still the better team. They're still the better team. They're still the best team in the league at this style of play. So we'll leave it there. You guys get it, man. Boss, let's check some comments and see if there's anything that we want to get to. I think we're good on the comments.
We got the comments. Yeah, I was talking about B-ball. I agree. This is my point earlier. The good thing Duren has not played well, and we still won. That's we still have him, Jenkins, just a couple other guys that can grow as the series goes on. So, tonight was the team I've seen all season. Exactly. We just definitely got back to our style of play. So
last one, Tara, I wanted to address this. Says Sass didn't play at all. I don't think he's going to play much in this series, guys, because he's a bucket. We said at times, the offense sometimes sputters and we're not able to get out and score. A big part of it is because we're not getting easy points. Number one, as far as our offense, we did tonight, which is better. But the point is that we held them to 83 points.
Yeah.
Despite the offense, we held them to 83 points. And the reason we did that was because of our size and our physicality. This is a big team. We've seen Daniss at times, who's bigger than Sass. We see him struggle being able to get passes through, struggling with the double teams because they're so big and long. And on the defensive side, we would struggle because all their guards are big. They got big guards. Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane is strong, right? They're all 6'4", 6'5", and above. We've already talked about how we've had to rotate off Apollo because we don't have anybody who can really guard him. It will make it even harder to guard if you got Sass out there who's a mismatch for them. You have two liabilities out there at times that they play together. So it's not really the offense. We held them to 83 points. If we play defense, we don't need to have a huge scoring output, period. Yeah. Right? We scored more points last game than we did this game. We had 101 last game. But we still won this game by 15 points because of our defense. They had 112 last game. They had 83 tonight. That's 29 less points because of our defense. So to me, it's all about it's not Sass getting in the game and scoring points. It's playing defense and going from there and letting that fuel your offense. That's why I think Terry's not playing. I don't think he's in.
And I wouldn't count him out. Like, I think that he could make an impact. But I just think, especially with the playoffs, like with the short end rotations, we're not seeing some guys again, like B-Ball Paul, Ron Holland had short minutes tonight. Like, he's just not going to be the first to call. And I get some people, want to see him over Daniss and everything, but Daniss can only get into a rhythm if he plays. So if we're thinking, he was better tonight. He was better tonight than he was last game. And we just got a little bit more to go. And Sass could be a better matchup. I could see him match up a little bit better against like a Strus or something in the cat. Like, he might be a better matchup and utilized later on. And just like we got to see B-Ball towards the end, if we do have, other times in the games going forward where we can experiment a little bit, let's see what he can do. But I, as someone who loves Sass, you guys know I love Sass.
Same.
He's just not in the rotation as of now. And I'm very happy that we have him in case of things like foul trouble or injury. But I'm just, very, very glad that he's on our bench, and I know he'd be ready to be utilized if needed. So.
Yep. Very last one, and we're done. Do you two think that Orlando might be actually our hardest matchup in the East? I'm leaning more towards Cleveland. I think Orlando may be, bro, as far as a matchup. We just talked about this in the live because it's the same. It's the Spider-Man meme. Literally. It's the same type of team, maybe even bigger than we are, but they play the same way. So that's
Yeah.
what it comes down to. I don't think they would have success against a lot of the other teams in the East, but because of
Mhm.
how they play and how it's so similar to how we play, I think we can kind of impose our will in against other teams that don't have the same type of style. We can't really
Right.
we haven't really imposed our will yet. We did for a quarter, but we haven't for a game yet. And I think that's
Right.
because these styles are similar. So we'll see. But I think it may get a little bit easier if I'm being honest. It sounds weird going forward in the playoffs because of the style of play that they present to us and that we present to them. So we'll leave that there. Yeah, we did say that, Devon, during the live. Exactly. Yep, for sure. All right, guys. Let's go ahead, boss, and get to some box scores. And
Okay.
let's start with none other than C2, Deuce in this game, guys. Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, guys, finished with 27 points on 11 for 19 shooting. 1 of 6 from 3. 3-ball could not get rolling. 4 of 8 from the line. That couldn't either. 6 boards, 11 assists, and 7 turnovers. So that's not a great ratio. I appreciate the 11 assists. 7 turnovers is high. That's not even a 2-to-1. That's more like a 1 to 1.5. 1.5 to 1. 1 steal and a block for 2 stocks in 37 minutes, boss. What'd you see from C2 in this game? Okay.
Oh man, and we talked about it. He looked, despite the 7 turnovers, yucky, but despite that, he looked much more comfortable. This looked like his best game since, like, of course, he's coming off of a 39-point game, where he's making his, made a little more threes, but efficiency wise, this was better. He was, getting to 11 assists was huge. He just looked more like himself.
Yeah.
The turnovers again is something that he's going to need to work on. But again, like the Magic are very good. Like they're good at this. And they're good at, they go for steals and they're a good defensive team on that aspect. So just something for Cade to work out. And as the game went on, he had a couple lazy ones in the fourth, but as the game went on, he, understood how to get the ball away from that double, triple team a little better, a little easier. So I think that will be cleaned up. That's honestly all he really needs to work on other than his free throws. The free throw shooting was bad all around. I don't know why we're just giving away free points. And then you say like, well, the Magic get kind of even out because they shot bad too. It's like, yeah, but imagine if we tweak that, just imagine how much earlier in the game we could have gotten ahead, how much, bigger our lead could be. So I think that's just something to work on going forward. You just definitely want to see him give too many splits, at the basket. You want to see him get more threes in, but, he goes kind of back and forth with that. So I think that'll be on, but 11 of 19 overall. I mean, 11 of 19 means that 5 of those were threes. So 5 of those misses were threes. Yeah. So it'd be 10 of 14 with the one make. 10 of 14 from any other place is beautiful, beautiful numbers in the playoffs. So, and he had that chase down block in the first.
That was nice. Was that on Paolo?
Yeah.
Paolo, right?
I think it was Paolo. He had poor Paolo keeps getting blocked to the rim and then gets all amped when he gets 1 over Stu. But anyways,
right. 1 for 4 or 5.
Yeah. So Cade, had a chase down blocks. His defense was there. And then he had a bunch of dunks. He just looked, like I said, a lot more comfortable. All I want to see him improve on a little bit is just the turnovers and of course the free throws. And we talked about it a little bit too, especially if he can get into a rhythm. I just like bringing this up because, the Knicks lost to the Hawks and a lot of people are saying the Knicks kind of gave it to them. But Cade, if Cade's off, we can still run our basketball. Of course, we do better when he's on.
Right.
But even like he's so good on defense as well, where like, someone like Brunson's a cone on defense. And that's what CJ McCollum took advantage of. And then, he can get going. But if he's off or off the court, or if it's not shooting well, the Knicks kind of fall apart. So I'm just very grateful again for someone like Cade who is willing to run the full court and get a block. I know he's bigger, but just and stay in front of his guys and just play good defense, especially coming off of a pretty severe injury. I think the week off did help with that repair, but he looks way more comfortable than his last game, even though, he got 12 more points. He just looks better. He just looks better.
No, I agree. Good points, boss. I'm going to start with this. Somebody check on Paolo, man.
Yeah.
Because Cade left his ankles in 2025.
Yeah.
With that hezzy, with that in and out move. But he had him shook, bro.
Yeah.
It was a hezzy in and out because he likes to go to the in and out first, but it was a hezzy and then he went in and out. That was like he thought he was going to cross over, but he went in and crossed back. That was pretty. Yes, bro. You saw that too. Y'all saw that. That was pretty. That probably had his ego hurt because it was a few times Cade really took him one-on-one and just scored on him. But that one right there, That's gonna be on ESPN Top 10. That might be on Shaq and the Fool if you're
Yeah.
Paolo Banchero. So look out for that. He cooked
And
it.
so
He
and so
cooked
will
him
the
for sure.
yeah, so will the chase down block, and so will the
Yeah.
stew block.
The stew
So
block.
have fun,
Right.
Banchero.
But watch him just show the Paolo dunk, and maybe he turns
Exactly.
everybody
They'll
all
be like,
over again.
Paulo caught a body. He's 1 for 3 against Stu in the series. Okay,
Yep.
like it's all right.
I'll
But
say this.
yeah.
I liked Cade's approach more in this game. I think a big part of it from
Yes.
game 1 and 2 was just watching film,
Mhm.
understanding what Orlando was doing defensively, because it was game 1. So
Mhm.
you got to kind of figure it out on the fly how to make the adjustment. Cade was getting buckets last game. But he was forcing it. You saw he was trying to put the team on his back and go get it himself.
Mhm.
Tonight, it was a much better approach to the game. He let the offense kind of come to him. He was aggressive when he needed to be, but it wasn't just ISO every time like it was last game. That's what I liked. So he was much more calculated
Yeah.
with his offense tonight and how he was approaching, still trying to get his guys involved. The 11 assists shows that, but just his approach, he was reading and processing what they were doing better. You saw the passes. There were still some times the ball got away from him when they would double because it was so big and long, it would get tipped and things like that, right? But overall, you could see him dissecting a lot more and looking for his guys and then taking what was there if they didn't double or whatever, right? So I just liked his approach. You could see he was watching film. You saw he made the adjustments. I always say too, boss, you can tell how he's feeling defensively, not with the scoring. You can always see when he's feeling good when he's getting after it defensively. You mentioned the Paolo block. We saw him get that and one on the break that he created off of his own steal and then pushed the pace to pace, like from coast to coast. That's how I know Cade is feeling good. When he's locked in defensively and giving that kind of effort defensively, that's telling me that he's feeling good. That's telling me that his conditioning is good, his wind is good, which is a good sign for his issue with his lung. Is the fact that he first of all played 37 minutes. That's a great sign. He didn't look wore down at the end of the game. He was still playing, still looked fresh. He looked like he had an extra pep to his step in this game too, as opposed from last game. So maybe he's just kind of getting back into his rhythm, right? But all in all, I thought he played really, really good in this game. Second half too, he really tried to push the pace. He was really pushing the pace. He had a few dunks in this game where he was just off the bounce, board and push, like we always say, right? So that was great to see as well. So I thought overall, he looked really, really good. That beautiful no-look pass to Stu for that and one was nice. From the top of the key, nobody saw him. Nice little look away. The Stu for the and one. So overall, he just played a very good floor game. I know he had a lot of points and stuff like that, but just his approach as far as just being that floor general was much better tonight as a leader as opposed to last. Exactly. He looked more like him. Yeah. 100%. That's all I got. Anything else on him?
No, I'm just very excited for these guys too, to bring a home playoff win to Detroit after, not being able to do it last year. To have, the fans rally around him. The crowd was electric. So I just hope he's feeling great right now. And like I said, I just think, that you didn't really talk about the turnovers. Obviously, you want to see those go down.
Yeah, I do. I want to see. I want to see those come down for sure. I was mentioning like a lot of them were just tips. A lot of them weren't really bad reads.
Yeah,
it was just like like kind of like to a lesser extent the Wemby effect is how you got to get used to all that length until you see it. You're not really going to be able to adjust. I think he's still adjusting to all that length they have collectively. All those tall guys that they have, those long guys that they have. So he's got to be careful with his passes even still because they're a good defensive team, right? They play hard and they're big. So you got to account for that. So the 11 turnovers isn't great, but I'm expecting those to go down as he continues to watch film, as they get more looks. I think that'll come down for sure.
Yeah. And I think I think the Magic, again, we're going back to their house. They're still going to play their basketball. They're still going to be scrappy and stuff, but we saw they were because of the pace of the game and how we were playing, they were forced to double and triple some guys some more, and then they had to ease up. So it's just something we didn't see much in game one that now Cade can improve on. You can improve from everything, and that's one of them. I want to say too, real quick.
What's up?
Saw him dive for that ball in the fourth and held my breath.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
But at the same time, shows you how he's feeling.
Exactly.
Shows you how he's feeling. To dive for a ball.
100%. That's it. You get it, boss. Yeah, you already know. 313 says they can't guard Cade, and Cade knows it, but Cade still didn't look for a shot in the third. He got everybody involved instead. 100%. It was so funny. I was watching mainstream media after the loss a couple days ago on Sunday, and everybody was just like, well, Cade played great. He had 40 points, but the rest of it is like, no, stop. That's how you know right there they don't watch. That's not how we win games. He's not Anthony Edwards. Right? He's not just a guy who's just looking to score. You want to see him with 25, 10, and 7, not 43 and 3. Like,
Yeah.
so it
Or
just shows you that they
27
don't even
11.
understand what they're looking at, bro. You know what I mean? So to see this stat line tonight, along with the eye test, just shows once again his approach to the game 3-1-3 was so important. Derek says Cade can guard Paolo and can't do a thing to stop Cade. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Cade can guard him, but Cade guards him much better than Paolo guards him. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
100%. Quick little super chat we got here. Oh, real quick. Derek says he had that Mortal Kombat. Get over here. And he goes snatching crossover. Let's get to First Class King says, I was sitting next to Ron Holland dead at the game. Hey, shout out to Ron Sr. So you were sitting in the family section, 119. That's where we were sitting the other day.
Yeah.
119.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's awesome. I know Ron's gonna get to play a lot tonight, but he's always so supportive of the full team and everything. We love some Ron Sr. Great part of the fam here. Great part of the fam.
Yeah. Court Chronicles, I said the same thing to you, boss.
You did.
Didn't I say, like, he just looks to have a little bit more pep to his step this game.
Yeah, exactly how you said it too.
His burst off the dribble, right? He's just able to get, last game he was having to fight and go to counter after counter after counter to get to what he was trying to get to. Tonight, he was able to just kind of get by guys.
Yep.
So maybe he's just getting more loose, more comfortable. Maybe he's just feeling better. Who knows? Yeah. But Court Chronicles, I said the same exact thing, man. So I'm glad it's not just me. I thought I was tripping. Like, is anybody else seeing this? Just a little bit different. But yeah, so for sure. Good game from Cade, man. Really good game from Cade, despite the turnovers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you made his free throws and had closer to 3, because again, when you're the main ball handler, you're gonna turn the ball over. So if you have closer to 3, even 4 with 11 assists is not bad. So we would have called this just a fabulous game. But there's, like I said, still a little bit of room for improvement in a 7-game series. So
yeah, for sure. He had a sensu bean. Lungo gray, right? More air, right? Something, whatever it is, it worked, and I hope that continues because he looks like pre-punctured, collapsed lung Cade for sure.
Do you think he can fly to Orlando now?
I would imagine so. Yeah, if he's able to play, I would imagine he can. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine him only playing home games or I'm sure.
Or like I was saying, they might. I mean, that's a far drive, but I don't know.
Nah. Yeah, I'm sure he's good at this point. Good question. I'm pretty sure he's good. Sure he's good. All right, guys, let's keep pushing, man. Yeah, for sure. Let's go to Duncan Robinson, boss, in this game. Guys, Duncan Robinson finished with 10 points on 3 for 9 overall, 3 of 8 from 3, 1 of 2 from the line, 6 boards, good for him, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals in the block for 3 stocks for Duncan Robinson in 32 minutes, boss. What'd you see from Dunk in this game?
Oh, man, the stat line's a little deceiving when it says, 3 of 8, because the threes were all very timely. It felt like when he was shooting them, like I felt like they were going in, or they were at big moments. They were when we definitely needed them. There was one early in the game. There's one, in the third to help grow the lead, and then there was one late as well to help keep us ahead. The 6 rebounds and the stocks, that speaks volumes because there are even times, in the live, people like get Dunk out of there. We saw them hunt out the switch on defense. Like we saw that. But it tells me that he wasn't a cone, that he was still giving effort.
Yep.
But we just can't, like we just said about like how it's a bad matchup for Sass. This isn't the best matchup for Duncan either.
Exactly.
But to still give his all and then again end with 3 stocks and 6 rebounds. That's amazing. And so obviously I want to see the shooting a little bit better, just efficiency wise. But I'm
not mad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 8 from 3. That's 40%.
True. Just a little bit better for like I mean if he is 3 from 9 overall, like get a little layup, get a little floater in there.
Layup in there, just bouncing out a little bit.
Yeah. So and he also split his free throw 1 for 2.
Everybody tonight.
I know,
man.
Everybody. I think the only one that made one was
as
Wu
a team,
Wu.
boss.
Yeah.
50. You said it, 58%.
Yeah. Disgusting.
That's crazy.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's got to go up for sure.
4 fouls too. We had the double tech on Bane, which, I mean, there's my thing is like the refs need to, the Magic are dirty. You need to settle down Bane. If Bane was hounding Duncan and he made the right decision, he could have gone up with the ball, and I think he would have drawn a foul. But in that moment, he knew we were up. He wasn't trying to get the momentum. Just in case we as a team do not ever put we don't ever try to foul bait or anything. We try to make the right decision. So he made the right decision in giving it up, but ended up with a pushing match with Bane and Duncan pushed back, but it's just like, Bane is the hothead here, not Duncan, So the refs need to be a little bit more on top of some of that, in my opinion. Because I feel like if Stu was guarding someone that close on the perimeter, they would have, called him on that. But anyways, So, you saw the dog in him. You saw him wanting to provide for, for his team, fight hard. He was a little disruptive. He had the task of guarding some guys. I think someone mentioned it earlier. There was a play that he, guarded Banchero well, so he was just taking his assignments and he didn't back down to any of them. And that's why, 50% of the time you saw them get switched on intentionally, and the other 50% he was putting it in his stocks. Right. So he did it the best that he could. I think he did a great job for the minutes that he played out there and what he delivered.
It's funny. Scooby says tonight was Hack a Shaq tribute tonight or something. Something was going on with these free throws, bro. I don't know what was up.
Ben Wallace was in the building.
Right. And I'm glad they got the win for the Legends. Rip was there. Yes. Shout out to Rip, Isaiah, Ben, all of the pillars of the Pistons, brass was there. So I'm glad that the Pistons bounced back and got a win and did it with defense with them in the building. I want to shout that out too. But yeah, Mark, I agree, bro. Like his commitment, we all say, boss, if you're whoever you are, if you're on the court that many minutes, and you only got 10 points or you don't have a ton of points, where else are you impacting the game? If you're a starter, how are you impacting the game?
Right.
Defensively, he really gave everything that he had, Lemus. Everything that he had, he gave it tonight. He's not a great defender. He's not a great lateral defender as far as moving his feet. He just doesn't have that ability. His ability is shooting the ball. That was his God-given gift, right? Not being a great defender. But he's still trying his best. Yeah. He's still trying his best. His team isn't complete, and we understand that. But we see all these guys buying in. If they buy in like they did tonight, despite the limitations they may have in their starting group, they can still go far. So I think he was a testament of that. When he's got 10 points, I'm like, okay, what else did he do? And now I'm seeing he's got 3 stocks and he's forcing guys into tough shots and they're not hunting him out like they did last game. And he's got 6 rebounds, like you said. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm not. That's not a slight to Stu.
That's a up to Dunk.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So shout out to him for playing defense, bro. Like all these guys, but even the guys who are not known for that, Tobias, even at times, who we'll get to later. I just love the effort. That's all I want to see is the effort. Because when they bring it, we saw what happened in the third quarter. That's who they are, and we're better at them at that game. So Dunk, that's all I got for him. Like he didn't take a ton of threes, didn't hit a ton of threes. 3 for 8 solid. That's 40+%, which is he's shooting 40% this season. I'm taking that. 3 for 9. If he goes 3 for 9 and he's 3 for 8 from 3, I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool because the volume is there. True. The percentage, the efficiency is there, and the defense is there. If you give me that every game, I'm cool. For this series, I'm cool. So yeah. All right, guys, we'll leave it there on Dunk. Another super chat from him. What's up, Alan? Alan says, y'all know ball.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Alan.
it, Brody. Appreciate it, man. We try, man. We just going off what we see.
Too.
Y'all do too. Yeah, y'all do too, man. That's what I'm saying. Keep these comments coming, man. Keep them coming because y'all point out things sometimes that we don't even talk about. But Alan, I definitely agree. And Court Crown, they try, bro. They try. You don't ever see Coach really. You don't really see Coach really going after Duncan Robinson because of his lack of defense. You don't see Duncan getting subbed out because he's not playing good defense. He's not a great defender, but you don't see JB going at him and getting on him. You got to do this. No, you don't see that with Dunk. Yeah. So that says a lot. Yeah. That says a lot to me.
And they don't ask a lot. He's not someone, he has had good help defense plays before, but he's not something like they're not expecting that. They're just just stay in front of your man and guard him as best you can.
Right.
And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
Exactly. Yep. That's what he's doing. So we'll leave it there, boss, on Dunk. Let's go now to Ausar, Tasmanian, backbone of the defense, Thompson, guys. Ausar Thompson in this game had 11 points on 5 for 9 overall, 1 or 2 from the line, 8 boards, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, and a block for 3 stocks himself, as many as Dunk in this game, in 28 minutes. Boss, what did you see tonight from Tasmanian Thompson?
Well, first of all, I want to point out that he had to leave the game a little early because of foul trouble. But guess how many fouls he finished with?
How many?
3.
That's solid.
We've seen
that's
this
really good.
before.
Oh, 3 in the first half.
Because he had 3. Okay. He had 3 early, and that's why he wasn't in. And then he finished the game with 3. That tells me he was a little bit. There were a couple fouls, like there one that screen, and then the off ball or the tech one, the dead ball one. But they're a couple silly. So that just tells me that he just snapped out of that silly a little early because he was playing phenomenal. We talked about it. I didn't want to see him leave. He was playing so well. And so he had a pretty bad shot, like to start off. I think it was like a left-handed floater and it was ugly. And we both were just like, ooh. But then Guys, he finished multiple baskets with 2 hands at the rim today.
Yes, he did.
He had that soaring dunk. That was what grew it to 30-3. I think they put it all over the socials. He was playing so confidently. He matched Duncan in stocks, which is pretty great. That's again, props to Duncan because he matched him in stocks. But 3 stocks is great for Ausar as well. And 2 steals and a block. 56% field goal, 5 of 9 too. He was very efficient for us on offense. 1 of 2 free throws is something I wouldn't complain about with Ausar if it wasn't ever, that's better than most. I liked his rebound split of 3 and 5, 3 offensive, 5 defensive. He only had 2 turnovers. He played his heart out. It was a blast to watch him tonight. It was an absolute blast. And I think, again, we would have had 5 more minutes of him if he didn't get into foul trouble. But to, the stat line, 11 and 8, you're like, yeah, that's good. But just knowing what Ausar can do in less than 28 minutes, plus the stocks, plus the efficiency, plus the foul trouble woes, like this was a big game for him too. He was one of the best players, I think, in the first game defensively. And so now to see him, stay steady, I find the magic. I'm scared. Like Ausar is staying confident, and it's showing. His defense is moving into offense as well, and he had some nice cuts. He had some nice looks. So he played very well tonight. He was moving off ball. He did great.
Look at the growth. Look at the growth. Ausar Thompson. Guys, that's why I call him the backbone of the defense.
Yeah.
Because he is a menace. He's so active and disruptive on the defensive side of the ball. You always have to account for where he is in his own way. When he leaves the game, you see a difference in the defensive resistance. And that's not taking anything away from our guys, but he is just that good defensively. He is that good. 2 huge blocks in the first quarter. One on Ben Carroll, just knocked it out of bounds from behind. Once again, that's that help defense that we were talking about that they were sending Ausar Thompson. Right, exactly. They were just sending more help defense, and he was a lot of the time the guy to come over and help and knock the ball away. He's just very pesky, man. You mentioned the foul trouble. He did get in foul trouble, but that's why I said in the words of Duncan Robinson, look at the growth. Because we saw a lot last year. He would be in the playoffs. He'd be so aggressive defensively early, getting in foul trouble, fouling Brunson, ticky-tack fouls, 94 feet, in the backcourt, just doing stuff to shoot himself in his own foot to put him on the bench. But this year, it's different. And you said that. 3 fouls in the first half, 3 fouls for the game. That's why I say look at the growth, because he's making the defensive adjustment with his discipline. He's still hawking. He's still ball hawking. He's just playing smarter. Just playing smarter. Not playing soft, but just making sure he's not forcing himself back to the bench because of another. And I saw in the third quarter, they were trying to really bait him into that 4th foul. He didn't go for it. He stayed down. He did on pump fakes. He stayed down. He wasn't playing with his hands. It was all just straight jacket, handcuff defense, just moving his feet. That's it. And that was a great sign for him because you got to be available. And tonight he continued to do that. So I thought he was great. The biggest thing for me is just, once again, that he did not fall for the bait in that third quarter. Because he was a big part of why we got out to that lead in that third quarter was his impact in the game. He was a big part of why we were getting out transition, right?
And that's
so it's just
the momentum.
And that's helping the momentum. That's how we're stringing together stops and getting scores and building and creating runs. A lot of that was him. But once again, he kept himself on the court. And that is the biggest thing for me as far as his growth in this game, because he's so important to our defense. He's a backbone.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Absolutely.
That's what I got for him, man.
Yeah. Just real quick, because I don't want to
Yeah.
forget about it when we get to Duren, because I think it's more of a way to get Duren involved, because Duren did finish with 4 assists, but he had some looks to Ausar tonight.
I
He had
agree.
some assists to Asar's cuts.
Good point.
So I just want to bring
Good
that up
point.
because it's a great point by Michael.
Good point.
And
He's
just
right.
in case I forget about it when we get to Duren.
Yeah. I'll
It
start.
was
We'll
an
come back to
incredible
it.
way to for the ball movement,
For sure.
So.
For sure. All right, guys. Let's go now to Uncle T boss in this game. Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris over me. Yep. Tonight, guys, in this game, Tobias Harris finished with 16 points on 7 for 17 overall. 0 of 3 from 3. Couldn't get that 3-ball to fall. 2 of 2 from the line. 11 boards. I know you're going to get to that, boss. 1 assist, 1 turnover. 4 stocks, guys. 2 steals and 2 blocks for 4 stocks for Tobias Harris in 33 minutes. And it's funny because you've been kind of having that stank face for a few guys when I say the stocks. And that's a good thing. It's like, ooh,
Crazy.
he had that? Take off on What did you see from him in this game, boss?
Well, I just wanted to double check that. And there was one other guy with 4 stocks tonight, and it's Javonte Green, who we credit for defense. And Tobias is someone that even in the same game are like bad defense, good defense, mid defense, bad matchup, stuff like that. And he did so good. He again, just like Cade, he scored 17 last game, but like this game was better. His stat line wasn't as pretty either, but I mean, 11 boards too. I want to get to because I know in the live I was like, called JD Butterfingers a couple times, but then you saw Tobias Harris ripping down boards. Like that's what you need to do.
Two hands, boss. Two hands, boss.
Two hands. Yeah, exactly. Rebound. Hold on to it. Just hold on to the ball. But and he did, and there were a couple, he grabbed and he just held on to, and was trusted with bringing the ball up the court. Did he have any turnovers? One.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
That's incredible. I know he only had one assist, but like he did have the ball in his hands a lot. So I will give him credit. Like one turnover is fantastic. The reason that he was probably tied with Stu for me for the belt because the second half he just started, it was his shooting and his jump shots. They were leaving him open still after he was making them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Like he was just, he really helped us get that momentum building on offense. And then, we got Stewart to come in and help with the defensive build. And then both of them were impactful. And again, he played most of all of the third and the beginning of the fourth. And I remember saying like, he's played this full quarter. And you said, why? And I think it's just because I think that there was something at halftime that he was a part of. We said that they hold each other accountable. And I would not be surprised if Tobias Harris was the one to give the motivating speech. And then he lived out his own words. And he showed, he led with example is what he did. As a vet, he led with example for the team to get back in. We know that he can pop up against the Magic. And he just, cleaned that up, was calm and collected. Nothing egregious. He just looked, let me see if I have any notes on him real quick before I finish. But in the second, he checked in and took that rebound away from Banchero. He went out, checked back in, the bench started the first. And the second, he checked out and ripped that rebound away. It ended up back in the hands of like Suggs, I think, for a three. But still, that was just the first sign of effort on that end for me too. After we were just talking about how he's Banchero can kind of run him over. He can stay in front, but Banchero's stronger.
He's a big dude. Right.
He had a clutch hook shot near the end of the second. And then to open the half, he got a basket on our first possession. So I love Tobias's game tonight. And what's crazy is I know that he can put up 10 more points on these guys easy. So and I think that the Magic, especially being a team that he plays well against, and the way that he helped the third quarter and just push us far into that lead and finish the game strong. I think that this is something we continue. I think he is probably one of our more steady guys the rest of the series. And I think I said that in one of our roundtables. I think I said that he's who I think is going to step up the most in this series.
I can see it on both sides.
Yeah.
The 16 points for me, that's a sweet spot for me.
Yeah.
As far as I don't want him trying to score 20 points a game. I think 60. If Cade leading the way, of course, you get JD, of course, and then you get Tobias, and they're chipping in. Well, as the third guy, I think consistently for me is where I'm comfortable with, especially when he's doing other things like rebounding and things like that. I'm not looking for him to score a ton of points. Just
that's true.
Be a steadying presence out there.
Just real quick, I just want to say, because he's 7 of 17, which was 41%. I think that's just more what it is, the efficiency part of it. Because if he made 9 of 17 for 20 points, I'm not mad at that. But it's the fact that he got to 16 points without having to take 25 shots. That's right.
Yeah, okay. I agree. Yeah, for me, like defensively, we talked about it with Duncan, right? Just guys who, because I feel like not now, but eventually at some point we're gonna need to upgrade some spots as far as defense, right? But and I still think he struggles at times. This is a tough team. They got guys who are big, who are athletic. Franz is big and athletic. Paulo is big and athletic. You know what I mean? So they got guys who are athletic and big. Tobias really isn't the biggest guy. He's not the most athletic guy. So I think he struggles at times, but he is trying. He's struggling to stay in front sometimes, but he did a lot of other things that were great. One thing I always talk about, guys, defensively is helping the helper, right? When there's a breakdown in the paint and your big comes to show and try to block the shot out of position for the board, who's going to be that help side defender to come and grab the board to prevent the offensive basket? He did that a lot in this game. I would see JD trying to challenge at the rim, whether it was whoever it was Franz or Jalen Suggs when they get into the paint. JD will show and try to block the shot, and nobody's under the basket. And Paolo's trying to get a tip dunk. Here comes Tobias Harris, helping out JD, knocking the ball away, blocking the shot, knocking the ball out so they can't get the offensive rebound. That kind of stuff is what Isaiah Stewart loves.
Yes.
So many times this year I've seen Stu get so annoyed when he tries to go for the block and nobody is there to stop the dunk, right? Yeah. So while I was watching that from Tobias, he played big tonight. Mm-hmm. He played bigger than he is.
True.
I still want to see that two big lineup, but I got to give him credit for what he brings. At 6'8", to get 11 boards against this big team is admirable. Very, very admirable. That's all effort. And even plays like with Paolo, ripping the ball away from him, just taking it away, right? Just taking the ball away, right? That was another great play. Just defensively, just say, no, give me this. That's just all grit, all effort.
Immediately after checking in. Immediately after checking in. That was immediately
right.
After checking in.
Exactly. So just keeping that 48-minute approach. Go ahead.
I just want to go off your point where you said he played bigger tonight. We've said this about him throughout games with injuries. He's filling in gaps.
Yeah.
So if he needed to be a facilitator tonight, we would have seen him with, 7 or 8 assists. Mm-hmm. He's filling in gaps, and boards were a big one. A lot of guys got a lot of boards tonight. They were pretty spread out. He had the most. I agree. So I'm not saying that, but he was filling in gaps in terms of not letting them get second chance opportunities, making sure they couldn't come back into the game at certain points. I will point out too, real quick, his 3-point shooting is where he's off. I agree. The past 2 games, usually that corner has been reliable for him lately. He hasn't been able to hit it. But again, just a slight area that I think that it's just a little bit more like just a slight area that makes me even, again, more excited about what more we can do. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that for sure, man. So I thought Tobias guys played a very admirable game. I still want to see that 2 big lineup we talked about, but just talking about Tobias Harris alone for what he did in this game, this is the kind of performance I'm hoping to see from him throughout the rest of the playoffs, to where he's not being overexerted. His usage isn't crazy high. They don't have him trying to bite off more than he can chew offensively, because that's not what you want either. Just playing within the flow, like Boss mentioned, just kind of plugging the holes as the veteran, knowing what needs to be done, having been there before, being that settling presence. Third quarter, start of the third quarter, having him get the offense running by going to the ISO, which they always like to do. They do that often, guys. Whenever there's a timeout or a start to a quarter, you see them dump it down to him, get a bucket, settle us down, get a score, let us set up our defense so we can get out and run again. Wash, rinse, and repeat. And that's what happened again with Tobias Harris. As a veteran, he just knows what to do. He knows how to play. He's been there before, and he's a settling presence for this team. So, we get that from him. We're going to be in good shape going forward for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, guys, let's keep it pushing.
Let's say hi to Devin real quick. Devin just got back from
what up, though? He got back quick.
It was lit tonight. Home. Pistons in 5. I don't know. It's been an hour. Ooh. It's been an hour and a half.
It's been an hour already?
Yeah.
Wow, we having fun. I
know.
It felt like it's been a half hour or something crazy.
I know. Well, the last one we went so slow, and everyone's so tired. So I'm glad to be here, happy and thrilled. So what's up, Devin? You brought the vibes. I know you were part of all the chants. I know you were part of all of it. So
did you wear the shirt, bro? We got the shirt on in spirit with y'all. You know what I'm saying? She got hers on, I got mine on. You know what I'm saying?
Congrats also to being there for a historic night and winning the first in 18 years. So
for sure. Yeah, exactly. That's something y'all can tell y'all grandkids, man, for sure. Yeah. To go along with us winning a championship a year or 2 from now. Anyway, boss, let's go now to let's go to JD. Let's go to Jalen Duren this game, guys. Tonight, JD finished with 11 points on 4% shooting overall, 3-5 from the line, 9 boards, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 1 steal, in 32 minutes, boss. What did you see tonight from Jalen Duren? What stood out to you?
I needed him to step. And you guys voted on our poll too in the live. We had asked, what needs to happen for the Pistons to pull this out, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And everyone
keys to the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Like basically.
It was JD stepping up. It was Ausar playing more, and it was just matching the Magic's physicality. And what do you guys? You guys can probably guess what number 1 was. But boss,
it was JD. It was JD. That's what I needed too. I had friends, out here, they're being like, Cade's gonna have a great night tonight. And I was like, yeah, I have no doubt that Cade's gonna have a great night tonight, but he's not who we need to step up. And JD is who we need to step up. And he did a little.
Spit it out.
He did a little bit. No, I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm still. He had it in the second, and in the second he had some important boards. That's where he got a lot of his rebounds. The third, we saw some more lobs. We saw him getting to the rim and drawing fouls. We saw him getting Wendell in trouble. we saw a little glimpses of him, but nothing near where we need JD for this series. Still nothing near. An improvement, but slightly. I need him to do better. 11 and 9, like I'm truly shocked by the 9, but he was shooting closer to 80% field goals for the last 10 games of the season, and we can't have him at these 40%. And you need to body. There was a couple times that you got Wendell Carter Jr. smiling at you, and I'm not I'm not gonna get into the Angel Reese of it all, but just don't let this man have his way with you. And then of course he got it. It was like back. Wendell fouled him a few times, got into foul trouble, had to go out of the game. But it's like, don't let him feel like he can do this to you, JD. You're, in my opinion, the best center in the East. So there's just no, like, you just need to be playing with a little bit more energy, fight. And again, like we saw a little bit of it, but you guys, even in the comments, the live and here, is JD injured? Is he sick?
Yeah.
That's the vibe you're giving off, Jalen. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. We believe in you. And so a little bit of improvement, but like he's due for a big game. And we saw him back down Wendell a few times. He got a couple hook shots over him. It looked good, but Wendell Carter Jr. is big. Okay. He is strong, but like JD can still do it. He can still get it done. And so I hope that this game, with the slight improvement, especially because there are kind of chunks of it. Like, like I said, like in the third, especially, we saw, he was, like Michael said, assisting to Ausar, got involved in that. Like 4 assists is second most of the game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
We do have some areas to improve on. But anyways, 4 assists and is huge because he was getting ways to get involved with that. But once he finds his basket and stuff, it's over. The three turnovers is not great. He only had 1 foul too. So it's like, just be aggressive.
Right.
Do it. And I think he's closer to, there's nothing we can do about it now. Game's over. We won. He did play a role in the win, a better role than he played, in the loss last game. But now I'm like, this, like, I hope it's clicking for you. And I hope, like, we need, like, just pop off next game.
Yeah.
He even looks a little bit like, his face looks a little bit out of it or confused at times. You're like, are you okay? Look at Sharita just said this. I didn't even read it. He seemed exactly. He just seemed a little lost. And so I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah. I think he's kind of getting bothered by the way they're guarding him. Because like Kenyatta's late. Yo, that's crazy. I didn't even say it tonight, Kenyatta. Did I? didn't say it yet.
Yeah, you do. But here's the thing, guys. I got it behind the scenes last game, of course, because me and Deuce were together doing the live show. And Deuce types his notes on his computer. So he's reading his notes sometimes, not seeing the camera, which freaks me out because I'm like, I don't see myself.
Oh, yeah.
Am I on? So that's just more of it. He's like, he's reading the notes. He's moving around, finding stats, and he's not always looking at us. And so that's, I think,
multitasking 4 or 5. Yeah, I'm not ignoring y'all.
So now it makes a little bit more sense to me. Like, he does hear me, but he's not seeing my hand motions, my gestures.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ignoring you. Yeah, I'm glad you got a chance to see. So like, you got a better feel for it.
Yeah, looks nervous. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it too.
I think I don't know. I can definitely see the Magic are like, they're making a point to take him away. There was a play where we mentioned him packing the paint, stuff like that. There was a play where Duncan Robinson got to the free throw line, a few feet inside the free throw line. And Wendell Carter was there. Nobody else was there. And he was willing to give up a Duncan Robinson layup from like 4 or 5 feet than to give up a JD lob. Because Duncan tried to lob it, thinking Wendell was going to come to him to stop this point blank shot. Wendell was all draped on JD, even with Duncan right at the rim. So when he lobbed it, JD had to catch it, gather, and then go back up. They are just hell bent on making sure he doesn't pop off. That's what I noticed to that extent. Like, we're going to give this guy a layup basically, then to give up a dunk. So I think he's a little bit bothered by how they are really just defending him. That doesn't mean he can't still be more aggressive, boss, because he definitely can. But I also think watching Wendell Carter guarding him, he's watched film on JD. He's watched a lot of film on JD. For whatever reason, I don't know why. You could just say it's because he's preparing. You could say he's being petty or other stuff, whatever. I don't know who he's talking to about what. I'm just saying. But I was watching even when JD would try to go one-on-one with him. I've seen JD go to that Euro move so many times with his footwork and be to get right by his guy. He tried tonight and Wendell was right there. Even so, he blocked his shot. So it's like I'm not excusing JD, But I
Right.
am noticing they're like, if somebody's gonna beat us, it's almost like they'd rather have Cade beat them than JD. The way
It's
they're
like we're
guarding.
known. I was gonna say that we're known for our paint game. So not even gonna say it's
Yeah.
explicitly Wendell, which he is his main assignment. So of course he's watching the film. But the
Mhm.
Magic's game plan is to keep us out of the paint. And our biggest threat in the paint this season has been JD.
Mhm.
So and they know that Wendell Carter Jr. does get into foul trouble himself. So
Yeah.
I think that they're just trying to stop it. But so I'm with you that at the rim they make it hard. But I'm also with you that he can be more aggressive because we
Agreed.
know he can create his own offense and we know he can get there himself. But when he was doing that, when he was, starting his offense off, he got to the rim and Wendell Carter Jr., blocked him, but got the foul. That was the one they pushed him in the back,
Yeah, it's personal.
But it's like,
going on there.
well, yeah, but also it's like, but that aggressiveness is what got you to the line. Like, so
True.
even if you're not, so yeah, I think we're both right. And I think, again, this is almost like his first time, almost like Cade having to be doubled for the first time and figuring that out. Like, this is almost like the hardest JD's ever been defended.
Great point.
And the Magic have done a good job of utilizing that because the Magic know that they have better 3-point shooters, more consistent 3-point shooters than us, I think, things like that. But if we get JD going in the paint, if we make it too easy,
exactly,
they don't want that. And so they're making it tough. But now you just got to keep fighting. And so now there's going to keep fighting. I don't know if that means screens. I don't know if it's what Michael said too, of like JD getting it into the paint and then throwing it back out and assisting guys that are running behind his defenders after he gets doubled.
Did better.
Yes. So little tweaks. But and I do think that the win has helped and they will look at film too.
Sure.
But I just wanted to point out what you said.
You're
Sorry,
right,
I'm like,
you're not wrong.
I'm overtaking your Duren time, but just when you said Wendell too, I don't think it's personal. I think this was the Magic's game plan as well. And he just happens to be his main defender.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Let's get to some JD comments, guys. Moving forward, he needs more self-creation, like a hook shot or a jumper. I agree. Orlando isn't going to give him that. You're right. They're not going to give that to him, bro. They're not. So once again, he's 22 years old. Got a long way to go in this progression. I think he's going to have all the things that we think he should have going down the road. Just one step at a time. He's made some huge strides this year, right? He's not anywhere near a finished product. That's part of his growth. And I think he's seeing that even more and appreciating it even more now, going against a team who's trying to take away what he does best. So that's a good comment from Richard. Let's get to Kenyatta, or 313 says, they know that if JD post game is off, that takes out a third of our offense and makes us a perimeter team. Right. Because now the pick and roll game is limited. Because even in the short roll, we're not seeing him in the short roll pull up for the 15-foot jumper. Right. He's trying to get to the rim. So they're trying to pack the paint. They're like, if Duncan beats us, if Tobias beats us from the corner, tip your cap. But they're willing to live with that instead of our bread and butter. So that's a great point as well. Sharita says Shaq said he didn't like JD's excuse for game one. Okay. I mean, Shaq, listen, I've at times called JD the modern day Shaq with finesse. Right. So I'm going to listen to Shaq in these kind of situations because JD plays more like Shaq than
Shaq's
most
position
bigs in the
still,
league.
Yeah.
He knows. He's a four-time champ. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to that. Right. Not some other stuff I'm like, but when it comes to that kind of conversation, I'm listening to Shaq because he knows what he's talking about. So Sharita, I think that's a great point as well. And let's get to our guy, Matty. What up, though, Matty? Did he go to the game? Yeah. Energy in LCA was insane tonight. First playoff dub in 18 years. I yelled, F you, Paolo, so loud during warm-ups. They send employees to talk to me. I'm screaming.
Ridiculous. Come on, Detroit. Oh,
I could see if we was in Orlando's arena or something like that. Come on, man. You could say that. It wasn't like you was on the floor, was you? Maybe you were.
Maddie, it got to him. It got to him.
Funny.
Paolo had an off game compared to last game.
Bro. Maddie, shout out to you, bro. God, Maddie be at like every game, and he is a diehard Pistons fan for sure, bro. Him and Devin, they both be in the building. So shout out to you, Maddie, bro.
Maddie's wife, Melissa, too. Because again,
Melissa too, for sure. Both of them.
They're both big fans, and I know that we got to see each other when I was in town, and I know that she moved her schedule around to make sure that she could go to the game. Like they're just diehards. So awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So shout out to you, Maddie. Appreciate you, brother. It was nice to have you on the show last week too, to talk some Pistons hoops with you, brother. So appreciate you, man. As always.
Your Chris Webber jersey.
You know what I'm saying? That throwback for real. That vintage bug. All right, boss. That's all I got for JD though. But he's got to be better. I think they're gonna continue to make adjustments and figure out ways to get him the ball and be effective. I did like he got touches early in his game to keep him involved in the game. He had more shot attempts in the first quarter than he had all last game. He had 4 last game and 5 in the first quarter. So I'm like, at least he's being aggressive this game. At least they're trying to get him involved in the offense this game.
And, with the way that Tobias is playing steady, I'm not sure, but maybe they'll utilize it a little bit more. But maybe that 2 big lineup is a way to do it. Because how do you defend it if you got Stu down there low and Duren up high, and then you got to decide, no, how do you do it? So,
we're going to get to that. So that's a nice little precursor, boss. Mike says, light him up more, boss. He needs it.
It's just because I believe in you, JD.
Of course. Hey, they know what it is, man.
Yeah.
They know what it is. All right, guys, let's keep pushing. Let's go to some reserves, boss. Let's see who we got first. Let's go first with Daniss Jenkins in this game, guys. Daniss Jenkins finished with 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting overall, 0 of 2 from 3, 0 of 2 from the line again. Not again, but he missed 2 in a row again. 2 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover, and a block, and only 11 minutes tonight for Tink. So, boss, what did you see tonight from Daniss?
I slightly better than last game.
That's where I'm at.
Just slightly better. His first, he had a chance to get on the board with the free throws and missed them.
Mm-hmm.
That was tough. That was to end the first, but then the start of the second, he had a nice little field goal. I was like, okay, now he's got it going.
Little fader.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that was the fadeaway was in the third. I think the one in the second was just a pull up in front of the basket. It was like that off the glass, I think.
Okay.
But
yeah,
he 11 minutes makes sense because he just doesn't look comfortable yet. And I said this in the live. I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt as a rookie in this situation. Mm-hmm. The fact that he did a little better tonight does make me happy. Mm-hmm. He's the other guy that I'm like, because him and Duren were so crucial to our regular season wins in different ways. Mm-hmm. That Jenkins, once he locks in, this series is as good as like once he locks in, they can't stop it. But I still have faith that he would. I've commended VJ Edgecombe, who's doing this otherworldly things. The first rookie broke Magic Johnson's record last night to be the first rookie to make the most 30 points and 10 rebounds. Double in a playoff game.
Yeah,
but
that was impressive.
But he's the standout. He's the outlier. Usually the rookies, Anthony Black, the Magic, guys, what has he done? He's been very crucial to their play this season as well. He's had a hard time in the playoffs.
He struggled a little bit, yeah.
Con Knipple struggled in the play-in, but I told Deuce, I think if the Charlotte did make it through, he would eventually find his groove. Yep. And I do think Daniss is going to get that. I commend JB. I know some of you with the rotations and stuff, but tonight's rotations to me were a lot better. And he recognized Jenkins was a little off and played him for 11 minutes. He didn't force him to be, to play a 20-minute backup role. He was even with Cade for a few times. So he's giving Daniss plenty of time to get in that rhythm. And I think he's going to find it. Again, his field goals were pretty big, better than last game. Again, he went for like 1 for something and missed 1 for 8 or whatever and missed free throws. And again, so a little bit of an improvement to get some assists in there, a block, only 1 turnover. It could have been worse, but we know it can be better. Yep. So, I think for the way he played tonight, 11 minutes sounds right in terms of I don't think he should have played any more. And there's always next game and the slow improvement, but I do think it's going to click one of these days for him. It is also that thing of like playing the same team over and over again. That's going to help his confidence as well.
Exactly.
It's going to help it get better understanding, what he can do. So I understand a little bit of the disappointment and frustration from fans, but it's more about just, him being our only kind of backup ball handler, like pure ball handler. We have other guys that we can rely on, but we're all as Daniss Jenkins fans and as someone who has led us to multiple wins based on his clutch moments, big moments. We want to see him get his moment in the playoffs. And I do think it's coming. I haven't lost faith but these are 2 games that are unlike him. I think when some of the nerves or something just settle down a bit, he's going to look a lot better and a lot more like himself. So.
Right. And that's kind of where I'm at too, because he hasn't really had the impact we wanted to see him have yet.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But we got to understand this is the playoffs too. This is a different game. It's a different game. And I was just about to get to this. Daniss only 1 turnover, which is a positive sign given the 22. Right.
Pistons we said that last turnovers. Game. We said that last game about him.
Same thing last game. 22 turnovers tonight, guys.
Mhm.
Cade had 7 of them.
Mhm.
Daniss only had 1.
Yeah.
So if anything, he's still taking care of the basketball. He's not turning the ball over
Against a tough Magic team.
And that's my point, because here's the thing, guys. And I know we're harping on the fact that he hasn't played in the playoffs and he's basically his rookie season, but that's important. And here's why. We just talked about Cade Cunningham, all-star, all-NBA player, making adjustments to the Magic's defense. We just talked about JD, all-star player, making adjustments to the Magic defense. Well, guess what? Unlike those two, Daniss Jenkins doesn't have a size or athleticism advantage at his position in the series, right?
Yeah.
JD is more athletic than Wendell Carter. Cade is bigger than whoever's guarding him at the point guard spot. Not Daniss so much. He's 6'4", but he's not a tank, right? So he's going to struggle with guys who are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" at times as a rookie at the first time in the playoffs. So I'm giving him a pass for that. He has to be better. We're going to need him to be better if we're going to make that run we're trying to make. But he's still a rookie playing a really good defense that he hasn't seen before. And once again, this is not a great matchup for him because all those guys are athletic and tall and strong.
Yeah.
So he's got to be better, but he's still understanding, like JD, like Cade, when they're targeting him and trying to force the ball out of his hands, he's still learning.
Yep.
He's still learning on the fly. So I'm going to give him a pass for that because he's still not turning the ball over. He's not as impactful as we want, but he's still not really hurting us a ton. He's missing shots. He's dribbling into traffic sometimes, but he's not turning it over and letting them get easy points. So I got to give him that much. But lastly, we got to be fair. If anything, you got to make your free throws, bro.
Yes.
This is the second straight game he's gone 0 for 2 at the stripe one time. I can't make no excuse for that. You got to knock him down. He's been a really good free throw shooter all year. That's just a mental thing.
Very
you
clutch.
got to lock in, bro, and knock down those free throws. He's had games where he's tied the game and sent it to overtime with no time on the clock. 3 free throws against the Cavaliers. That half-court heave, no time left on the clock. We're down 3. He's got 3. He makes them all. So we know he can do it. He's done it all year for us. So in the playoffs, we need it even more. So that's my only black mark for him, was just knock down your free throws and watch your decision making. But aside from that, he's processing too. He's still learning too. The same way our all-stars are learning. He's learning too, but he's not turning the ball over. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Devin here too. A lot of people are giving Jenkins a lot of hate, and I don't like that. That happened last game as well. It feels like it's the fans that come out for the playoffs, you know. That's what it feels like, because it's like there's just no way, you know, you can hate on him. And but I'm glad that you brought up the turnovers, Michael, and you did, because I didn't really think of that. And but I remember I was talking about it on Monday too. Like we were like, despite this, he took care of the ball. I think he had like no turnovers last game. Like he did really well. Not a ton of assists, but, you know, didn't give the ball away again in a very high turnover game against teams that he did see the double at times. He did see, you know. So but a lot of you guys in the chat here are all showing, you know, love to him. I like this one right here too from 313 Sports Guru. A confident Daniss Jenkins will help us tremendously this series. Can't wait to hear it. And then like you said earlier, JB is just trying to get him over those jitters. So
he's learning on the fly.
Absolutely.
He's a rookie, man. He's a rookie, guys.
And he's gonna find, and you know what? It's actually a little bit dangerous because the Magic might cool off him a little bit. They might cool off him a little bit, and that's when he has his game.
Space.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's coming. I think it's coming this series, if I'm being honest. So All right, guys. We'll leave it there on Tink, guys. Let's keep it pushing. Let's go now. Let's go now, guys, to who's next? Let's go to Kevin. What is that, Velvet? Huerter in this game, guys. Kevin Huerter in this game, guys. He finished with only 3 points, 1 or 2 from the field. Both of those were threes. 1 board and no assists and 2 turnovers, which is rare for him. He only played 6 minutes though, so it's kind of an incomplete for me. I don't know why he didn't play a lot of minutes, but I thought that was interesting. But boss, what did you see from Red Skull, in the words of Chris, in this game?
Yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't play more minutes either. I just think it's, again, just shortening those rotations a little bit. He played more last game than like Caris and Wu, and this time it was Wu's game to shine. So it's a little bit what do you always say? Not unfinished. You say incomplete. It's a little bit incomplete because 1 of 2 is what he got last game with more minutes. And I said, if you're going to be out there for Duncan, you need to shoot the ball. And so, but if you're only out there for 6 minutes and you got 2 threes up and you made 1, I'm fine with that. Only 1 rebound is curious because I felt like he was fighting in the paint. He was making it tough for other people to rebound. So either,
I agree.
he was just trying to prevent offensive rebound. Like he was still disruptive and still played well. The 2 turnovers.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
What?
Okay, he made one of those 2 threes. Okay, you're right. Yeah, he made one of those 2. I don't know. I was thinking over 2. Go ahead.
No, he hit one at the end of the first.
Yeah, the step back was nice.
A beautiful one, and then missed
pretty.
one of his turnovers was that one where he slipped, and we were both just kind of like, I get why you want to get rid of the ball, but like also just hold on to the ball. Yeah, exactly.
I ain't seen him either after that, bro. JB was like, "Nah, bro."
But that stinks because like he slipped. Like I don't know. It's hard. You don't know what that could be from. I think it was just maybe JB was more about me. Like if you slip like that, it's just like going for a blind, and you got guys around you. It's just like going for when you try to save a ball behind you, going out of bounds, and you don't know where you're throwing it to.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it felt like. So, because we talked about it, because I was like, I don't like that decision. Just hold on to it, stop play, jump ball, reset, whatever. Yeah. And so maybe JB just didn't love that from him. But I don't think he was necessarily in trouble. I just think other guys like Wu earned those minutes, and it wasn't really more Huerter for Dunk. It was more Huerter for other guys,
I agree. Yeah.
And so I wouldn't attribute Dunk's minutes to Huerter's lack of. I would contribute more Wu's minutes to Huerter's lack of. Because the starters are going to play starter minutes, every game. So, anyways, I didn't hate what I saw. Like I said, a little bit incomplete. 2 turnovers can't happen, but I don't think they were egregious. I can't remember the second one necessarily, but to go 1 of 2, you just hope that he can go. No matter how many threes he's shooting, if he can shoot 50, I'm good. If he can go 2 for 4.
Yeah, I wish he would shoot more.
Yeah.
I wish he would shoot more of them because, like, when he's confident, it looks good. Like, the step back that he had, it wasn't really like it was within the flow. It was more so like, I got a shot. I got a guy who I know I can get the shot off on. I'm going to take it. Yep. I like that, Kevin Huerter. I like him when he's playing team basketball, of course, within the flow, swing, he's pulling it. He's a really good team player. But I'm not mad at when he's doing that either. I feel like that's the same thing you said about Daniss. I think a confident Kevin Huerter is a really good Kevin Huerter for this team. So I want to see him get up more. He didn't play a lot in this game. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was the turnovers, which is rare for him. But I hope he gets more minutes. I hope they find a way to get him more minutes, against a team that is a good defensive team. I think being able to move without the basketball is really good against a team like this. And I think he's really good at that. And defensively, he's still solid too. So I hope he plays more than 6 minutes going forward, because even though he had 2 turnovers, I still think he can be impactful if he gets more time. So.
Yeah, it's hard because I see a lot of guys on here. I was like, those minutes make sense, but I would like to see more, and we just can't.
It's hard.
It's funny because I was the one who advocated for a bigger lineup, and we're seeing a 10, 11. We're seeing an 11.
Yep.
But I would still go for 12, to be honest. But then where do those minutes fall? Who gets less? Who gets more? But again, that's just kind of he had more last time than a guy like Wu, and Wu had way more than everyone else on the bench this game. So it's just going to be another learning thing of going forward through this series. And I think that just helps. This is kind of for the bench more so. It's just the experimental, series as well of whose strengths can we utilize. And then that could help us next series too.
Yeah, it seems like it's still kind of on a night-to-night basis too for JB. It doesn't seem to be set right now. Like I had this, as you guys know.
Which we like.
Which we like. It keeps the defense honest at times. Don't know what to expect. This is what I had. This is what we got last game. It was similar tonight, but we saw a lot more Wu than we did Kevin Huerter. Even more Caris LeVert in this game, I think than we saw Kevin Huerter in this game as well. So it may be not tonight, but I do think we need to see more B-ball Paul. I got him at the bottom there, but I think we need to see more B-ball Paul in this series too going forward, which we'll get to.
That might
That's
be
all I got
another
for Kevin Huerter, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, that just might be another adjustment. Again, I think they're just finding things, and maybe next game, it is more of a, we need more 3 shooting plus defense. Maybe that's just will be, especially because when Wu checked in about the same time as him, and we'll get to Wu, but Wu was also making his 3s.
He was the first one in to start this game. First sub this game for sure.
Yep.
And Mike, I would too. He's making 17 right now. I wouldn't pay him that much next season, but if we can bring him back, 10, 11, I would do that.
Yeah, I don't know what his market would be like because he's had moments up and he's been pretty up and down. So
he's had a resurgence here.
Pretty same. Yeah, exactly. I say he'd be pretty same. I don't know if another team would match 17 million. That's what I'm thinking.
I would hope playing for a contender.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That he would, because he hasn't been the last couple of years. And we see when he's playing for a good team, Sacramento, right? Detroit.
At the time. Yep.
Right, at the time. When he's playing for good teams, he seemed to step his game up. So hopefully they can work that out. Real quick, I didn't hear about Tom Izzo Booze. I did not hear about that at all at LCA. I missed that one, Devin. That's crazy. Listen, you like Michigan, you like Michigan State. I'm the kind of guy, if Michigan is out of it, I'm going for State. I'm going for whoever's still in it who's Michigan. So that's why I kind of like Tom Izzo a little bit. But I didn't hear about the boo. That was interesting. So yeah,
I like a Draymond Green and a Greg Kelser is kind of what I think of. Like those are guys I still. But also Michigan was in the building. They're ballers, so maybe that had something to do with it.
Maybe that's why. That's right. They were there. Yaxo and them guys were there again too. That's right. Okay, that could be why. All right. What up, though, Rashad? Okay, good. Let's keep pushing, man. Let's go, boss, now to Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert in this game, guys, finished with 4 points on 2 for 6 shooting, 2 from 3, 1 board, and some cardio in 14 minutes. But he played. I thought he was solid. I ain't gonna lie. But what'd you see tonight, boss, from Caris LeVert in 14 minutes?
No turnovers. Never really had the ball. Like he wasn't necessarily a main ball handler when he did have it. I think the biggest thing for me is that 2 wide open layups he missed, and one of them that he made was almost another leaning miss. So two things. It's like you got to make the easy ones. I will say that about JD. I will say that about Cade. Like you got to make the easy ones. Yep. Of course they're well defended, but that's they kept him in the game because he was playing good defense. There were a few times they were clapping for him. There was he was sprinting everywhere. He was rotating. He was doing good things like that. Take away his 3 balls, and he would have been 2 of 4, and those other 2 were those egregious missed layups. So just a little bit of tweaking, but I'm not mad at his minutes. Maybe Kevin Huerter a little bit more next time, like maybe switch those guys. But Caris had such a great game last game in 4 minutes. Like his numbers were high, so they gave him a little bit more time to adjust. And I personally, again, in a series that could go, it could end in 5 games, it could end in 7. In a series games, you want to just help, just like we just said with Jenkins, you want to help some of these guys get into rhythm. And so I think they gave him the benefit of the doubt for what happened last game and what he did in short time. They rewarded him with some more minutes this time. And again, he didn't the only thing that harmed us was missing some easy baskets, but no turnovers, good defense. So that was the only thing that hurt us, was just 2 easy lay-ins. But yeah, I think just I'm a little bit surprised that it was closer to 14 minutes for him, but it just shows me that was also, during the time of just getting ahead. Or did he play? He played in the second and the third, so he was a little bit a part of that run.
He was part of it. Yeah, he was part of it.
It was important. So, and he was definitely fast, and I saw effort. It's just more of a little bit more efficient on the offensive end when you're out there for us, Caris, and there's no problems. But that's really all I have to say.
I'm right there with you. His 3 ball was, I think if he hits 1 or 2 of those, everybody's saying he had a great game.
Yeah.
But if the missed shots is the problem, I'm still okay with that. It's the reason why I say teams like Charlotte wouldn't go far in the playoffs. It's because their bread and butter are things they can't control game to game. Can't control shots missing or going in game to game. Same thing with Boston. I said to you earlier today. Your shot's not always going to fall. When Boston's hot, they're hard to beat. When they're not so much. Right. So I think with Caris in this situation, if he's not knocking down shots or even at the rim, okay. If it doesn't continue I'm okay with that. Because once you see him, when he has no chance of being able to get back defensively on a dunk attempt, he's still sprinting. He's still sprinting down the court. I saw Paulo on a break, and he was at the 3-point line. Caris hadn't even crossed half court yet. He was still sprinting, trying to get there. Well, the defense is always there with him. That's why I'm like, all right, bro, you can stay in the court a little bit longer, because you're going to bring that defense. You're going to help us get turnovers and transition points. What we want to do is what he's going to bring. The offense is a bonus at this point. Just keep bringing that defense. You can't control the shooting all the time. When it's rolling, you're going to be just fine because you're always bringing the D. So I wasn't mad at him. It wasn't a great shooting night. That happens to everybody. But the effort, what he can control, he brought it. So I'm okay. I'm okay with him tonight.
And that just brings up a good point, too, because, again, we see the hustle. We've seen him save stuff out of bounds for us. But one of those missed layups, he was immediately back on the other end.
Exactly.
Like he made up for that. Was a breakaway opportunity for the Magic, and he made up for that by getting back. You didn't see him lower his head and jog back and just let it so he's still, he takes, to me, it just tells me that he takes it seriously. He takes his minutes seriously. So,
exactly. Yeah. And he knows what coach wants more than anything. He's playing defense for coach, and that's what they did. That's what he did in Cleveland. So, all right, we'll leave it there on Caris, guys. Boss, let's go to Lil Ron, Dog Pound Jr., Ron Holland in this game. Only played 7 minutes, but he didn't score in this game. 0 for 1 from the field. Only shot was a 3. 3 boards, and that's it for Ron Holland. But I think he did a lot more than what the box score indicates in this game. What about you?
Yeah, pretty disruptive. He had great in the second. He had great defense on Suggs. That was the shot clock violation. That should be some kind of stock. I feel like if it's ISO for more than 7 seconds and you make that guy.
I was gonna say 5. Yeah.
I mean 5 is good too, but I'm gonna give him 7 because 7? I think it was more like 7. Like when you're on your guy for that long and he can't get a shot off or he can't get it away. I mean, I guess if he can't get it away, that's the whole defense. But Suggs is a guy that will throw it from the logo and make it. So Ron gave him enough pressure that Suggs wasn't even willing to attempt that. So I do agree. He had 2 fouls, no stocks. And like you said, it's a little deceiving. 3 boards is huge. That's the second most in the short minutes off the bench. And I don't think that he didn't score. Did he get any? He had 0 of 1, so not a lot of opportunity. I think it was just more again about giving some other guys. He had more minutes than some other guys last game, and he came in and did very well for Ausar when Ausar got into foul trouble. I think it was just more about, again, trying to get some other guys in rhythm as well. I don't think it speaks to anything about minutes yet, about how we'll see him next game or anything. And he still took advantage out there. Again, he didn't really necessarily get a shot. Oh, and his missed shot was that 3. That's what it was. He didn't even get the shot and it it looked good. It wasn't bad, So I think that as long, he can get to the paint. The paint is just hard right now, but he can find that and still very reliable and took advantage. Still a good 7 minutes out there. It's like, you can argue a little bit of LeVert's, maybe a little bit of, but like I said, Daniss deserves minutes because we need him to get into form. There's not really any space you could argue for minutes for him right now. So I think he played in the playoff rotation spot that he needed to be in tonight and did well.
They're like, he wasn't. So Javonte Green played 20. We're going to get to him. He played 23 minutes. That was why we only saw Huerter get 6. And that's why we saw Ron get 7. Exactly. They had to go somewhere. And they went to Javonte Green because he was the most impactful player off the bench other than Stu. So I think JB was like, all right, we're going to roll with him because he's rolling tonight. And when that happens, other guys' minutes get cut. You got to kind of roll with the hot guy. Tonight, that was Javonte Green. So I'm not, once again, incomplete for Ron. Even though he didn't score, I did like what he brought on the boards. Because he also, like Tobias did in the first quarter, helping out JD on the glass, being a help side defender, not allowing the offensive boards. Ron was doing that in the second group with Stu. Tobias did it with JD in the first group. Ron did it for Stu in the second group. We didn't see Stu getting annoyed because guys were coming backside for putback dunks when he was trying to block the shot. Right, Ron was getting on the glass, tapping the ball out. Like taps don't cost; they don't count for rebounds. But when you come in and you tap the ball away and you guys secure the board, that should be a rebound or something. Like how you were saying with the stocks, with the shot clock violation, it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. So once again, he did some box score deceiver stuff tonight, right? Just with this energy and effort. And you were saying first quarter, I want to see these guys because I was like, they're playing with more effort. You were like, yeah, they are, but I want to see these guys give some Ron Holland effort, right? Energy, and that's what Ron Holland energy, and that's what he brought.
Like you're desperate. Right. That's how Ron always plays.
He always plays.
Go out there like you're trying to prove something.
Facts. So that's all I got on him. He brought it. He brought it. It wasn't a crazy stat line, but he was helpful as far as helping us, kind of get going in that third quarter as well. So I liked it. Boss, let's move on. We got 2 more guys. Let's go to Javonte Savage. Can you woo in this game, guys? Javonte Green finished with, this was crazy because he was one of my candidates for player of the game. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I know,
only 2 points. It's crazy, right? Box score deceivers once again. 2 points for Javonte Green.
I thought he hit a 3. Am I imagining things?
It looked really good, but it just didn't fall. 0 for 1 from 3, 2 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and 3 blocks for 4 stocks for Javonte Green. Crazy. What'd you see tonight from Savage Wu in this game, boss? What stood out?
So I take it back. Earlier, I said that Wu was hitting his threes. He wasn't. He did. Like it.
Yeah.
It felt like it. I'm shocked by this stat line only in terms of 23 minutes and 2 points, but he was, like you said, a candidate for player of the game. And it's because we asked defense of him first. And that was just so, he had a block on Banchero. How many guys? That's that 4 different guys with the block on Banchero right now?
That was a nasty block too.
That was the one from behind. Help defense was huge.
We talked about that.
Yes. He checked in in the second and got an offensive board immediately. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't checked in. He was in the game to start the second in our possession and got an offensive board, which is something that we were giving them second chances. We needed that from him. The third was just incredible defense. Yeah, slap away from Banchero driving to the basket.
Yeah,
again.
that was nice.
Yeah, just I mean, Banchero's bigger than Wu. Like, but Wu is just so. That was the one where we were kind of like they almost called it for a foul, or they didn't almost call it from the foul, but like we were like, I'm glad they didn't call that a foul because we would have had to use a challenge because it was so fast and like you don't know, but he got no arm, he got all ball. I mean, props to the refs for that one at least. But
you know what they say though? They say when you slap and if the ball goes straight down, it's a steal. If the ball goes up, then you smack the arm and the ball goes with it. So they're probably watching for that too. But go ahead.
True. Yeah, because his arms would go up as well. Yeah. But the 3 blocks, Woo, you're crazy. That's nuts. That's the most blocks in the game. And he's not our center.
Right.
He's not our center.
Yeah.
And so it's just incredible to see that from him. And again, 23 minutes. He played 4 minutes last game, guys. 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, we're not going to get mad at the rotations then. That was a learning game. But he came out and he showed right away why he needs to be out there.
Exactly.
Huge part of our third quarter, maintaining that 33, start, 30 to 3 start. It ended a little differently, but still much higher. Just the defense was incredible. Yep. And I have no words because, I mean, again, 5 rebounds is big as well, as tied with Stu off the bench. But, I mean, I'm just at a loss of words in terms of the 2 points were his free throws.
Yeah. Like, how are you able to do that much and only have 2? Like, his performance felt so much louder.
Yes.
Than what the box scores. Maybe it's because his plays were highlight plays. Like you mentioned, we talked about the blocks. He's got great anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can see where the ball is going. He's just got great anticipation. I'm so used to see him getting steals every game. It's just I can't remember the last game he played significant minutes and didn't get a steal or a block. Like he just has a nose for the ball. He has a nose for the ball. And this is why I told you guys that I had no doubt he was going to be in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just makes stuff happen. He just does stuff, positive stuff in the game that just helps you. Chris said, did you see Cade? Did you see Cade with that block? He inspired me, Coach.
Yeah, truly.
Exactly. Go ahead, boss. Go ahead. Get in there.
I just want to say real quick, too, and that it's also not like his shots were off. He went 0 for 1 on a very good-looking 3.
Yep.
So it's not even like it was despite not doing well offensively. No, he just did defense. And then I guarantee if he had another shot that he had to make from the 3, he would have made it. So it excites me because it also tells me like I think he will be the first off the bench next game. Like he's earned that spot now. And he obviously defensively is huge, but we've seen him hit huge buckets for us too. Imagine we unlock that from him.
Right. That goes into what you were saying about there's still a lot of room for growth.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of room for looking at the growth, Yeah. So definitely want to see him continue to play. That's why he's going to continue to play. He played, 23 minutes and 2 points tells you everything you need to know about his impact elsewhere.
Yeah.
It tells you everything. We always say, if you're going to play that many minutes, starter or not, what else are you doing if you're not scoring 10 plus points? What are you doing? You said it about Ausar, said it about Ron, whoever it is that's getting that time. What are you doing on the court? Duncan, whatever. So I see that too. That's why I call him and Ron Holland the grit bulls. Like Lindsey Hunter and Mike James were the pit bulls. I call him and Ron Holland the grit bulls. They a little bit bigger, but they do a lot of the same stuff. He's just a pest on. Lindsey was the same way, coming up with steals galore. Just on the perimeter, just knowing where the ball is going, just having a nose for the ball. He was just very good at that.
More
very
just different positions is what they play.
Right.
But
he's got
defense.
When I see Marcus Smart play defense, I see Lindsey Hunter. A lot of that same stuff, just know how to play without fouling, all that kind of stuff.
I didn't know that Marcus. This has made me. I was talking to my friend about it last night watching the Lakers Rockets, but Marcus Smart, I didn't expect that to be his voice. I don't know if I just never heard him before. And I was like, he sounds like if you squeeze him, he'll squeak. Like
I'm screaming.
And I'm just like, I thought he would, I don't know. But now I see him in a little bit of a different light. I'm just like, oh, you're not just some loud barking bully out there like you are.
Yeah.
Great defender, but you sound so much nicer.
And he's Ron Holland's cousin too, guys.
No way.
Yeah, when Charles Hill came on the show, Ron's player development coach, he told him like they found that out. Like I think Marcus actually called Ron or Charles when Charles was working on Ron. He brought Ron with him to to scrimmage play with work out with Marcus. And Marcus called him like the next day, like, bro, that kid of yours, Ron. He's like, yeah. He's like, I think that's my cousin, bro. And that's how they found out they were cousins. They did the research and found that out. But you see a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same grit defensively, the dog defensively. They play a lot of this, they play the same way. So my point being, you see a lot of those same things from guys like Javonte Green, just that gritty mentality. He is the Detroit Piston. We say all the time, boss. He was looking for a home. He found it. Yep. The Pistons are not going to let him get away. They are not going to let him get away for sure.
No, especially if he's doing stuff like this in the playoffs.
Facts. Exactly.
And I don't know if he's had any playoff experience in his career as a vet.
I don't think he's played. I know he. I know he might be Boston. On a team.
Okay.
He was on. Yeah, he played with. You can see he was with the Pelicans, the Bulls, and I think the only team where he actually saw his team in the playoffs and deep runs was with the Celtics. But that's it. I don't think he played much then either, though. So yeah, this is the first time, like you're saying.
So it's probably got a real.
Yeah,
it's just the vet and him coming out, not necessarily the playoff experience. But and we've seen that all season though as well. So
yeah, he's been in the league 10 years, just very under the radar, right? So I love what I'm seeing. Real quick, Devin said this dude next to me was googling who Dave Bing was. Come on, oh screaming dog. What? Oh man, at least he's doing his Google.
Devin, that's probably the same person that was complaining about Daniss. It's like, so you only come out for the big games or what? You know
what I'm saying? It is what it is. Everybody can be your OG. You know what I'm saying?
You're crazy,
but that's so true. Without the same, yeah, it's crazy, right?
But the voice or the squeaking?
You're talking about Marcus Smart. That's hilarious. All right, guys, let's keep pushing, man. Let's go now, guys, to our last guy of the night, who I thought was the player of the. Well, you could say Cade was a player of the game, but I think Stu should get the belt. If I'm being real, he's and this is a humble statement, but he was a unsung hero. And that's a humble statement because he was more than that in this game. So, guys, tonight in this game, Isaiah Stewart, 10 points on 4-4 shooting overall, 1 for 1 from 3, 1 for 1 from the line, 5 boards. He did have 3 turnovers and 2 blocks in 16 minutes. Boss, what'd you see tonight from Beef Stew Dog Pound Sr.?
I personally can't remember his turnovers. So, to me, like 3 turnovers in 15 minutes isn't great, but I don't remember them. So, I'm sure they were just knockaways, probably fouls that should have been called. But
right.
In the first, he caused a turnover on Goga. He made Goga traveled. And Goga and Stu remind me of like Val and Stu. Like, I don't know, the Europeans do not like Stu. They do not like
them either.
Right, exactly. Yeah, true. But he played great defense. I know that the team was hyping him up for that. And the third, the block on Suggs.
Which one?
Like the one that was there was just like Banchero in the first game that didn't get as much recognition as it should have because we lost, but just set the tone. Suggs, the replay Suggs, and you said this, just it looked gingerly, like he was just like, oh, let me get this.
Yeah.
Did you miss film day on Beef Stew? Because he's not letting you have that of anyone.
Yeah.
Not you. Yeah. He had and then in the third, he had a big 3. He had that 3, and then the next play he had the and 1. And
that
then
was off the Cade pass, no look pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the fourth, he had the block on Banchero. That was the challenge, clean block. And you see people, and like we said, they're gonna play the Banchero. Like Banchero caught a body, but like he's 1 of 3
got
against
one on
2.
Him. Yeah, but that was the only one he got. Yeah, exactly.
And like what's his face? Richard Jefferson was saying, he's like, the guys, they're still going to go up for it. And every now and then you're going to get dunked on.
Yes.
It's just like going for some things, like every now and then this is going to happen, but
exactly.
He doesn't 100%. Back down, and he understands when he's late. There was one where he came over and he didn't jump up and someone got a dunk and he immediately was like, yeah, that was me, because his feet weren't set. I forgot who it was, but he immediately was like, yeah, that was on me. Like I didn't contest he did contest, but it was late and he understood that. But I find Banchero got hyped off of that. I'm like, you're 1 of 3.
It just shows shows respect, though. That shows respect.
Oh, exactly. Oh, true. It's just like Shaedon Sharp. What Shaedon Sharp did to him earlier this year at the game we went. I think that was the home opener. No, the one in December.
The home opener. Yeah.
No, it was the one in December where Shaedon Sharp got blocked by Stu and Stu got dunked on by Sharp. Like It's a little bit of a, and Stu was barking at him, walked away, said what he said, got under his skin, and I think it's going to continue. But I mean, now they're like one of 8 as a team going against Stu.
Trying to dunk? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Come
it's
on.
Crazy.
So, I mean, keep it coming. Stu loves it.
Yeah.
Stu says, yeah, bring it.
I like what you said, though. In order to be a rim protector, to be labeled as a rim protector, you're going to get dunked on sometimes. You're going to. Ben Wallace got dunked on sometimes. The Dikembe Mutombo got dunked on sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the best rim protectors in the game.
Just did by Jokic.
Well, I don't put him in that category. But yeah, him too.
It's a 4D point. That's why I have to say it.
I still don't put him in that category.
And Ben, so like,
I got you. As far as the D point, yeah, for sure. But like the best of the best defensively get dunked on. The ones who don't get dunked on are the ones who don't go for every dunk. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Stu don't care.
Yeah.
He don't care. Because you saw what happened when he caught him on that last one. When Paolo started yapping, he said, yeah. He basically said, hey, 1 for 3. Good job. Good job. I'm taking them odds every time. So I just loved how into this game he was.
Yep.
He was into this game from jump. You guys saw the clip we talked about earlier. He said, hey, we coming out and handle business. We're not playing around this game. We know we haven't played to our standard. Y'all saw the clip. We got to go out there and handle our business. Sometimes that means you're going to get dunked on sometimes, but it also means you're going to prevent them from dunking 3 or 4 times as well. So, he guys, I want to see him and JD play together so bad.
Yeah.
I want to see those two against a big team like the Orlando Magic, who like to get other teams in foul trouble in the paint, who like to get a ton of offensive rebounds. Stu is the perfect solution to that. For me, he does so many things, and he's going to help JD. He can allow JD even to focus a little bit more on offense because he knows he's got Stu there to back him up defensively. That's just Wemby got dunked on too by JD. You guys just saw the Be Afraid intro video. In that video, you'll see the music video. You see JD dunking on Wemby. Ja dunked on Wemby.
It didn't count, but it's one of my favorite videos ever because I just I know Ja is controversial and stuff, but what I've always loved about him is just he just does not care when he gets in the air.
Yeah.
He's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But you're going to get dunked on at times.
Yeah.
Everybody gets dunked on at times. But he is going to continue to go up and say, hey, do it again. Good job. Okay, do it again.
It's in his favor.
Every time you can do it.
It's in his favor. It's not like he's getting dunked on more than he's blocking.
Exactly.
In his favor.
Exactly. He's got the best percentage, I think, at the rim of contested shots as far as guys going at him. The lowest percentage in the league, Isaiah Stewart. Once again, that's a mindset. That doesn't happen if you don't contest every time. He don't care about getting dunked on poster. He just wants to win, bro. And he's the heart and soul of this team defensively. So everything that he brought in this game, like he came into the game immediately, boss, turnover. Immediately.
Yes,
First play that he came into the game.
And
offensively too. Like he had a nice putback corkscrew finish over his head, like his finishing around the rim, even offensively. Volleyball spiking Jalen Suggs, like you mentioned. Like he is everything. I love guys like him. Guys who fit the identity of this team. That's why I like Javonte Green so much.
Yes.
He just fits. He just fits everything we are. So in more times than not, when he's on the court, he's going to help you. So hopefully, guys, we get to see JD and Stu more. I think that 2 big lineup will solve so many problems and allow guys like Paul Reed to get some run for this series and going forward if we're able to get past these guys, which we should. Go ahead.
I think a little bit of the issue is that, he ended the game with 5 fouls in 16 minutes. That's 15 and a half. Mostly that's a lot, but we even talked about it. I think he had 3 fouls at the end of the third with a minute left. And I was like, I don't love that, but also it's a minute left in the third. If it was like a SAR level where he's got them early, then you're a little concerned, but being in there with JD could help. But I also just want to point out, the volleyball blocks are my favorite. And what's crazy, swatting it way out of bounds. What's crazy is that Stu's doing it on guys who dunk. And while Big Ben can do that, guys used to put up floaters and Big Ben would get that in the air, which they both can do. But when I think about those volleyball blocks, I think of Big Ben and Stu, but they're still a little different. And Stu can go get it in the air, but I think he'd rather you try to dunk on him than try to block your floater.
Yeah, I was thinking about this too, and not to compare too much, but Ben was a great rim protector, but he was a great help side defender.
Yeah, for sure.
Rasheed would be the guy oftentimes guarding the big. Like think about that play on Shaq, right? When Ben came over against the Heat, and Rasheed was guarding him straight up. and Ben knew he was going to try to take advantage of. She tried to push him off. He didn't really, but he came over at the last minute as a help side defender.
Yeah.
I would venture to say that Isaiah Stewart, as the primary defender at the rim, is close to, or if not, just as good as Ben Wallace, mano a mano at the rim, blocking shots. And I never thought I would say that, but at the rate that he's doing it, like help side, Ben's athleticism, jumping out the gym, you don't have a chance. Help side, and even straight up too. But Ben was a great help side defender. I think Isaiah Stewart at the rim, when it comes to mano a mano, I'm trying to dunk on you, and you trying to block a shot, like he may be quite just as good as Ben was, and he didn't have the athleticism that Ben had. He just had the timing. So y'all let me know what y'all think. But the way that he's doing that now, I'm saying, like the way he's just going up at guys one-on-one and blocking shots.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen anybody do it the way that he's doing it right now.
What's crazy, and I know this could just lead into another conversation. What's crazy, like you said, not comparison-wise, but what's crazy is he's doing it off the bench. Ben was a starter in all of his years with us, you know. Stu's doing it off the bench. And so And so I think that's even more incredible that he's making such a Ben Wallace like impact on 15 minutes a game.
Yeah, the fact that the only reason he hasn't made an all defensive team the last 2 years is because he didn't qualify. He didn't have enough minutes. Both years. Had he played enough minutes, he would be all NBA defense the last 2 years in a row. The past 2 years.
I pointed this out too in the live because, you know, guys, you know, the media narratives, you know, the casual fans being like, they just think Stu's out there to run his mouth, to fight and stuff. I hope the casual fans that tune in for the playoffs got to see what he does. What he does is you know, score underneath. He gets under guys' skin just as much. He blocks. Like, this was a great show out for Stu on national TV for those fans that don't understand why, you know, he's a tenured guy with us and think that he's only one-dimensional. He showed all of his dimensions tonight. And of all the texts and stuff in the night's game, not on him.
He didn't get one.
No.
Exactly. So once again, boss, like you said, on national TV, this is why I'm so glad that he's playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, because everybody gets to sit back and watch him as opposed to last year. They didn't see him. So I think everybody understands now how important he is to this team. And like you said, how multidimensional he is on defense and offense as well. Go ahead.
I want to answer this for Chris real quick.
Go ahead.
I know it worked out today, but why isn't AT on Banchero or Franz? It worked out today because Bane is our biggest threat. Bane is the biggest threat.
Yeah. And tonight he didn't shoot well.
Right.
He was like 7 for 18, I think, tonight, right?
Because of Ausar.
Exactly. He can't guard everybody.
And
no, Bane was 2 for 11, boss.
Yeah. But do you remember? And one of the ones that he made was the one that Ausar help side.
Yep.
Ausar left to help, so he left Bane wide open.
Exactly.
I'd rather have Ausar on Bane because Banchero and Franz, they're not steady. They're up and down. They had a good game the other night. So that's why he's not on there. The reason, whatever reason it is the right reason. Like you said, it worked out today. I think it's going to work out more. What we did, we shut down Franz. He fell out of his rhythm. He had a couple games of rhythm, falling back out. Banchero, everyone else, Banchero had a decent game. I mean, he had 18 points, but I don't know his efficiency. But he was 7 for 17. Okay, so Tobias numbers. So Banchero was basically Tobias. So you're, that's why.
That's a good point about Bane.
Bane is their Cade and Banchero is their Tobias. So
no, you're right. Yeah, Desmond Bane had 2 points, or 12 points on 2 for 11 shooting. So like as far as Banchero, he's not big enough. He's not big enough to guard Paolo. Paolo, he's just
not a lot. Like you said, Stu's like the kind of the best.
Yes, Stu is the best, which is another reason why I'm like, anyway. But yeah, that'd be a tough cover for AT. I already don't want him getting in foul trouble on the perimeter, let alone in the paint, right? Franz, I could see that. I could see him guarding Franz. But once again, if he's guarding Franz, who's guarding Who's guarding Bane?
Yeah,
100%.
Franz hasn't gotten hot. Guys, Franz last game got to the basket a lot in the paint.
Right.
We only need to guard. Ausar only needs to guard Franz if he's hitting from the perimeter, in my opinion.
I'm with that. Unless he's just getting to the rim at will.
Well, yeah, but
like
then
he was last
game.
game.
Yeah, exactly. True. But they made that adjustment. So, like you said, maybe we'll see an adjustment. But I just think I like Ausar on Bane. And again, one of his only open threes was because Ausar left him.
You're right. In the corner. Yeah, I remember that. Exactly. So, so without that, you put a, So, you guys get it. Yeah, I wish we could have like 2 or 3 stars defensively sometimes, Chris.
We got to
But,
run, and he'll
we
come
got
out.
Ron, right?
We'll probably see those guys on the court together
I
at
hope
some point.
so.
And see, that's me. If Franz got hot,
There
I
you
would
go.
see them bringing Ron in to guard Franz.
Got it.
whichever,
Got it.
You know,
That's
so,
true. That's
yeah.
true. It's good to have options for sure.
Yeah.
What up, Nacho Nick? Oh,
He
just
got
send
a
us your
comment
super chat.
underneath.
Appreciate you, bro. Does he have a
He's got-
comment to go with it?
Right underneath, yeah.
Okay,
I-
bet. That's it. I think Stu is a better matchup versus. Yeah, bro. We've been talking about that, bro. We've been talking about it, man. The 2 big lineup that I've been calling for since the beginning of the year. I just want to see it. If we
Yeah.
play a team like Cleveland, next series, not jumping ahead of ourselves, we gotta win this one.
Mhm.
But I would hope we would see it. I want to see it now. This is a big team too. But hopefully next series, if we get them against Mobley and Allen, I don't see how you don't play those 2 tall guys, those 2 big guys against those 2 tall, wiry guys. So we'll see. All right, guys, let's keep pushing, man. Let's go now. That's it. That's all we got for tonight. I was gonna
Yeah.
say Paul Reed, but he didn't play in this game.
He played for 46 seconds. But
He didn't play. I'm not counting it.
yeah, I know. You know me, and I'm like, let's
Go
get
ahead,
everyone
go ahead.
involved. But no, I was gonna say let's get everyone involved, but not in 46 seconds if it's just zeros. So
If it ain't a minute in this, and it's just I ain't about to read.
Unless Paul had like 3 rebounds in 46 seconds, which he absolutely could
Which
do.
he could do, which he's done all year, which has been frustrating.
Do you want to give?
But we're not
give
gonna
your
complain
thoughts
tonight
on
because
that?
they won. So what?
I mean, did you want to give your thoughts on just B-ball in the rotation? Do you think they experiment with that a little bit more, especially with the fact that Stu was so impactful?
I hope so. I mean, I feel like we've already talked about it already. Like, I just want to see him play, bro. Like,
Yeah.
the 2 big lineup makes that possible. Straight, like that's all I got. If you don't play the Stu and JD together, it makes it harder to play B-ball Paul as your 3rd big.
I do think that there is going to be a game where one of those guys, Stewart or Duren, get into foul trouble and we do get B-ball moments. And so I do think that's possible. Of course, you would like him to have a little bit of a warm-up, but he also, just like someone said earlier, they don't mind if Ron just comes off to be Energizer Bunny. His minutes are a little inconsistent. Just unleash him. Like, I saw a comment like, unleash B-ball Paul, and stuff, so that's kind of how it is. So, but I don't know if he makes the rotation as much as we want him to, but again, we talked about we're already at an 11-man, and a 10-man is pretty typical.
Yeah.
But not worried if that does happen. The foul trouble does happen. Like I said, Stu getting 5 in 16 minutes is concerning, especially if you want to play them with Duren. But Duren only got 1, so it's not like they both had 5. And then you're like, now what? So
yeah, it might not be this series, but I think if we get past this one against the Cavs, we'll definitely see that for sure. We need to, I think. So that's all I got, boss. So now we can look ahead to next game, guys, and let's pull up the schedule and see what it's looking like, right? So we had an L in game 1, took a dub in game 2. Now, guys, the series moves to Orlando for games 3 and 4. And boss, I don't know about you, but home court this, home court that. At this point, I don't care at all about home court advantage. Last year, because the thing is, like, the Pistons have shown last year that they can win on the road, and they've shown this year that they can lose at home as well as last year.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I don't even care about home court. Just go out and play your style, do it 48 minutes, let the chips fall, period. That's where I'm at with that.
You don't win 60 games in a season by only being good at home, know? So, and I was reading some of the Reddits, it's just fans, you don't know, they're all over, but I trust the fans' opinions. And I was reading the Magic one, and they do say that some of their role players like Suggs play better at home than away. But if their if we're shutting down, if their role players have to step up a little bit, our guys do too. Our role players are a good matchup. Of course, some of them can do a little bit better. Like we said, there's room to grow. But the home court advantage doesn't bother me. The Magic's atmosphere is going to be electric. It's going to be a lot. I think it'll be a shock to their system. But they're not going to care. We just saw the Knicks and Celtics and Nuggets get beat at home. The Nuggets, guys, I love Detroit, but the Nuggets arena is unreal. So if you can win in that arena, I'm just like, this is just insane to me too. So no arena should scare them. No amount of noise should scare them. They're locked in. And I think, especially if we steal this one, if we win this next one, I think it's Pistons in 5.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
I do.
If we win the next one, I think we can take both of them.
Exactly.
Honestly, in Orlando. I really do. So we'll see. Some quick comments. 313 says, can 3 play the 3? Nah, not really. 4 or 5 for me. I don't want him on the perimeter all, for his primary assignment.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather him be, 4 or 5 for sure. He probably could in a pinch, depending on who the matchup is. Maybe a Franz for periods here and there, but I would rather him just be in that painted area more time than not. And then B-Ball Paul didn't get his turnover, so he couldn't do anything right, because you always point out his turnover that he usually
one
gets.
Turnover a game. Yeah.
If he ain't getting a turnover, he ain't played a lot.
Yeah, didn't contribute to 22. Yeah, because he usually does, and he usually gets it early. He gets the rest out.
Gets it out the way. Goes like this, and then goes off the rest of the game.
Then goes out, like, I can't make that again. Let me make up for it, and just has the best game of his life. Yep.
Facts. So, guys, that's all we got, man. That's all we got.
So next game is Saturday at 1, you said? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll pull it back up real quick. Next game, guys, is Saturday at 1 o'clock. So they got to make sure they get some rest. So they got to travel. They do have 2 full days off, though, again, which is a good thing, right? So they'll have time to be able to get rest and all that stuff. 1 o'clock game, though. So they got to make sure they get their rest early, right? Mm-hmm. So that'll be a nice little matinee for us to watch on Saturday. Boss and I will be live streaming that game with E. Vinny. He will be returning back. For the road games, 3 and 4. He can be back with us for that. So you guys make sure y'all tap in for that. That's all I got, man. So, guys, we appreciate you guys as usual for showing up, showing out, as you guys always do. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. Guys, make sure you have a great night. Be safe. Pistons got that dub. It's now tied 1-1. Go ahead, boss. Real quick before you do your outro that we all love. Congratulations, guys. It's been 18 years since the Pistons have won at home in the playoffs. We bounced back from a disappointing game 1. We've all had to sit here twiddling our thumbs waiting for this game. Mm-hmm. It's going to feel less stressful waiting for game 3 now. But I just want to say shout out to the fans just for rocking with this team and calling out what we see that we can do better, but also giving them all the support that they need, because they absolutely deserve it. And thanks for being here tonight too. Yeah, shout out to the fans for the game. Shout out to the fans who showed up here. Shout out to the fans in general who support this team, man. Mm-hmm. Appreciate all you guys. So that's a wrap for this stream tonight, guys. So hope you guys have a great night. Be safe, and y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. Be afraid.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think of just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey. I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that shop, you must want this way. If the dog palm, mess around, find out, If the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that.